Welcome to Las Vegas. We are here at the Media Center at Mandalay Bay for Super Bowl 58. Tyler Scott is right here, and we've got a great live stream coming for you. But you know what? Let's go ahead and start the show.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast with Adam Ray.
Trying to cut it back. Justin Fields making magic happen. There goes Fields. Touchdown!
The sickest Chicago Bears and fantasy football podcast. Sports entertainment like no other. It's gonna be sick.
Hey, we're already running out of problems. We're trying to do this on Instagram Live as well. I don't know what to do. I'm not technically proficient at any of this stuff. Jeff is running off, but we got Tyler Scott. Will now be second-year wide receiver with the Chicago Bears. How are you enjoying Las Vegas so far?
Yeah, no, it's a good experience, man. It's a lot of mountains. A lot of mountains is the first thing I noticed as far as just landscape. We got rain the first 2 days, which
Did that shock you?
That's what everyone's saying, like that it's like it never rains in Las Vegas. So, got rain the first 2 days, which is kind of bummy. But this is my first time kind of, in the Super Bowl media area. And I'm loving it so far. I got to play with some kids earlier. Toss some footballs around, play catch.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was fun, just seeing them. And they had a field day or a field trip. And I remember when I was young, that age. And, I wish I had a field trip like that. So, it's a cool experience so far. And, see what the week holds.
That is pretty cool. It's funny because when people were talking about Las Vegas as a joke, because Vegas is expensive, it gets cold in the winter.
That's what I hear.
And the hotels are not close to each other. Like it's far. So I jokingly said, here's the things you need to know about Vegas. Food's cheap. Don't bring a lot of money. Don't need a coat because it's the desert. And sure, you can walk. You can make that walk.
Yeah.
That is the biggest mistake that everybody makes is like everybody will show up and be like, oh, I think I can walk to the Cosmopolitan from here.
Yeah.
No. You get halfway through. You're like, let's just call it a lift or anything like that.
Right.
But I'm glad that you're settled in and everything's going well. Glad you got to see some mountains. I guess you don't get to see that in Illinois as much. What was the first season like? Now that you've had a little bit of time to sit back and reflect for a moment, what was that first year like for you?
Yeah, no, it was a lot of ups and downs. I learned a lot. A lot of good moments though. Like I loved it. Coming from college, pretty much didn't stop. I played football for pretty much a whole year without stopping. Came into Chicago Bears organization, which is a pretty historic organization.
Yeah.
And, I grew up loving Gale Sayers. I watched his highlights, and that was kind of one of my people that I looked up to and wanted to, idolize his game. My dad was a Dick Buckus fan, and everyone tells me he looks like Mike Singletary. Which
Yeah. Your dad is Mike. He looks just like him.
He definitely does. So I have some familiarity, with the Chicago Bears, and, I was excited. I honestly was when I got drafted here. Going through the season, had guys in and out. I was able to play every game, and I showed up for every game too. So that was something for me, like that I could really stand on, was being able to show up every game, show up to work, not miss a practice game, and be reliable. At the end of the day, and the coaches, they trusted me. I went from playing like 10, 15 snaps in the beginning to I went on to play like 40 plus snaps multiple games, and so that just showed me that the coaches trusted me. When they were out there, I knew what I was going to do. And, I was going to play with effort, and I was going to play hard. And so, there's a lot of good things to take from it and a lot of things to learn from it.
It's interesting. I think that we've talked about this before. They trusted you to be the push guy on our version of the brotherly shove. How did that happen? Like, how did you get recruited? Do you like squat like 650 or something?
So I squatted 600 in college.
Stop it. Really?
I did. It's on my Twitter if you want to go look. So I ended up squatting like 600. In college, and maybe they knew that. I don't know. I don't know what the deal was with that, but all I knew was that they told me that I was going to be behind Justin. When we had the tush push, and I'm like, well, you got the right man. Yeah. And so through the whole season, I kept telling him, like, listen, I'm undefeated back there.
Yeah.
Like, when we're back there and I'm pushing, like, we get the first down every time. So I'm just saying, like, we're undefeated. I don't know, but so every time I was back there, I was undefeated, and they pointed it out too. So.
Yeah, it was very effective.
I got some recognition.
Listen, we talked about it nonstop.
Yeah.
It was one because again, like no disrespect to you, you're not You're
not the
like,
biggest guy.
yeah, you know.
I get it.
But yeah, it's like
That doesn't matter.
usually, like, yeah, you're the guy in the tug of war because you can fit two guys your size as opposed to like one ogre.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
No,
that's why you want
definitely.
4 legs instead of 2.
Definitely.
But here's my thing: we got a new offensive coordinator in Chicago, Shane Waldron. Have you been able to talk to him like yet, or what happened?
Not in depthly, but he has reached out to me.
Okay, that's good.
You know, yeah, he's reached out
That's
to me.
what that would be a problem if he didn't.
Yeah, no, it would. It would.
Do you like text like other guys? Like, hey, has he texted you?
Oh, for sure.
You're
For
like,
sure.
hey, like, not
Oh,
to
for
blow
sure.
anybody up. You're like,
Hey, no,
obviously he
but,
talks
you
to DJ Moore.
Yeah.
But like everybody else would be like, dude, because I would be worried about that.
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
like, holy. And then I would want to know if somebody didn't get talked to.
No, for sure. I mean, I'll hit guys up like, hey, did such and such text you? Or, hey, did Ryan Foles? You know, whatever. You know, so, you know, but yeah, like I think you do those things. At least I do sometimes. You know,
Of course.
just interested. You
Human
know,
nature.
you know, but no, he did reach out. Said he was excited to work with me, and you know, I just, you know, echoed that message, and yeah,
Was it a text or was it a call?
it was a text. He sent me a
Okay.
text. Yeah.
Interesting. I mean, you want the call though.
The call would have been special. Definitely.
Would have been, yeah.
Would have been special, but I'll take it though. You know, at the end
No,
of the
no, no,
day,
yeah.
you know, I'll take it.
Because you don't want to be like somebody who's like, I haven't heard from this guy. But it's
No, you do.
but that is but like that is relatable because if you're in any sort of job, you kind of sit around and you're like, hey, like if you had to change your managing position,
Right.
like, hey, like, has Bob talked to you yet? Like, no.
Yeah.
You got the
No,
text.
that's tough. No, that would be tough. But I will say this: before Shane, you know, got here, I got the vibe from Poles with that. You know,
You're his guy.
he was, you know, he said some really nice things, some really good things about me, and was just excited for what the future had, you know, had in store. And so once I got that okay, it was for me like, yeah, I mean, I'm good. So
What was the text? Was it? Did he call you by name?
so we were talking to, like, this was personal, like we were talking to each other. It's just like,
It wasn't a form letter.
oh
It was
no,
like, hey, Shane
no,
here. Looking
no,
forward to.
No. You talking about Shane?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, you no.
Yeah, so Shane was through over text, and then
But Ryan's
Ryan
was-
Poles,
that was your
in
exit
person.
interview.
That was in
Okay.
person, and he also texted me during the season as well. Just throughout the season, he just kind of hits me up, and you know, where I'm going through like a rough patch, he'll just say, "Hey man, you know, keep your head up. You know, this place will calm. You know, it's what your rookie season's for. You know, all those type of things. You know." And so he's always had good words of encouragement, and you know, still hits me up. You know, and so you know, when I hear that from him,
Yeah.
you know, it's
Well, I put in a
pretty
good
fun.
word for you.
Well,
I let that be known. Like in addition
appreciate
to calling the first play in Los Angeles,
Yeah, you did.
dialing up that deep pass to Darnell.
You did.
I also did. I don't think I told you that, but I did go like, hey, like Tyler's been doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like when you're drafted by the GM, that's always a good feeling.
No,
Like,
for
hey,
sure.
you know what? Like you'll be able to stick around a little.
No,
bit
no,
longer.
no. It's really good, and you know, he's a good guy. Like, just seeing how he operates, like he's always on the practice field, he's always around.
Yeah.
He's pretty approachable, you know, as far as just
Totally.
talking
I
and-
mean, he talked to me.
yeah, like he's not a guy that's just gonna stand up, you know, in the box and just look down on the players. Like, you know, I love that about him. The fact that he's just who he is. He gave me a call. I remember like when I first got in Chicago. I think it was after rookie minicamp. He gave me a call. He gave me a call. I think it was not after OTAs.
Yeah.
After OTAs were done, I was going, you know, back home or whatever, and I seen him call me. I was like,
Yeah.
"What? No!" I'm like, "What's going on?" So I was kind of scared at this time. I was like, "Oh, snap."
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I answered, he's like, "What's up?" I was like, "What's good?" And he was just like, "Hey, man, like if you ever need anything, just hit me up. If you ever just want to talk, you know, just hit me up." He's like, "Listen, dude, like it's just, you know, your first pretty much rodeo going through all of these things. You're gonna have your ups and downs. Like that's, you know, what's gonna happen during this process." He's like, "You know, you're new to this, you know," and so. He's like, and you know, me too. Like, you know, he showed some vulnerability too, saying
Yeah.
like, man, I'm a new GM too. So, you know, I'm going through and learning through all my different mistakes and highs and, you know, and lows. So, you know, the fact that he's just that type of guy, you know, I just love that about him. So,
Yeah, I do too. What did you think about? All right, it's tough. Like, so obviously there's been some changes. You know, obviously Getsy's gone, and we
Yeah.
bring in Shane Waldron.
Yeah.
When Matt Eberflus was retained, is that like nice to have that continuity?
no, definitely. No, I love Coach Flus. I just love like his. What's the word?
What's
I
his
wanna use?
deal?
His
I
aura.
like him. I
His
like him.
aura is like the players love him. Like at the end of the day, like the players love him. I know something went viral with him giving, you know, having like a nickname for every player.
Yeah, that was cool.
Like, and people may be, oh, well, he's just for camera. Like, no, that is real.
No,
that's real. That is Coach Flus at his finest. Like everyone, he's got the Sandman. Like he's Like he's got something for everybody. And one thing I also like about him too is that he just doesn't hound football 24/7. Like he also cares about you as a person. He relates life things, with football and how that kind of correlates and how it's a team effort, raising a kid and having a baby or whatever, and just kind of that whole process. And he just kind of related it to football. You become a team. And I just kind of love how his life lessons that he brings. And he kind of reminds me of what's the best way I can put it? He kind of reminds me of like a coach that was like, man, he's seen something in the movie, or like a quote in the movie, and it's like, I'm gonna use that one day. And he kind of has that feel to him. Just kind of like a movie kind of character type of guy, kind of coach. Just has that type of inspiration on guys. And so, I think it's definitely good him coming back, having that continuity. See what he did with the defense. Especially in the back end half, and kind of just kind of how they grew and the impact that he had.
Yeah, the defense was really becoming special towards the end of the year, and then I started feeling bad about saying mean things about him. But I've always been a pro, but I've always prefaced it, I always loved him as a person.
Yeah.
I've had one conversation with him, and it was delightful, and it was lovely. So it's tough, and I know it's a bottom line business, but still going from 3 wins to 7 wins, that's not insignificant. There were some,
and you could see it. You could see the way the team was playing too, like the difference from just kind of how we started off and then kind of how we progressed. You can see that progress.
I hated that Green Bay game, though.
Except for that Green Bay game.
Well, Jalen wasn't playing.
That was tough. Yeah, he wasn't. They had we had Smitty out there.
Who's good, by the way. Yeah, he's talking about Ryan Poles finding guys in the draft, finding guys like him.
No, definitely no. That was tough. Not having Jalen out there, you can definitely see the defense felt it for sure. But maybe that kind of shows you, the impact that Jalen has.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
Get him signed.
Yeah, exactly.
They got a franchise. That's the whole thing. You're getting franchised regardless.
I don't know. I don't think you're gonna find another Jalen Johnson in the draft. Guys like that just don't come around. And, like I said, I played against, now my first year, a lot of the DBs in the league, and I still haven't came across somebody who was as good as him. Jair Alexander was pretty good, but I still haven't came across someone who.
Don't put Jair over.
I know, but I'm not putting him over Jalen Johnson.
Never. No. I mean, talking saying nice things about him. What do you? Because I know I don't know how close you get to the defensive guys, but Kwani B and I we have a friendly relationship. He borrowed my glove in that celebrity softball game in Pittsburgh. I actually stole it. It just disappeared from the dugout to the point of and I'm not the kind of person that casually just lets my glove go. I'm this is a real problem. And there's Kwani, and it's him. So you're okay.
Yep.
And so I would go by him, and so we would trade the glove in between each inning. So I finally was and I'm sort of worried to do this because I don't know how I don't know him that well. I don't know him. I just met him that day.
Right.
So I handed him the glove one time, and I said, expletive. I said the actual F word.
Okay. All right.
Bleep the Packers. And he got the biggest smile on his face, and he grabbed the glove from me and he repeated it. Yeah. So after every time that we traded the glove, so after the season, he started, chirping a little bit at the Packers. Do you like that? Do you have to advise hey, chill out a little bit, or do you think it's cool?
No, I mean that's the name of the game. That's part of the sport. That's part of competitive sports. You're gonna talk trash. You're gonna have bulletin board material, whatever you want to call it. But that's the name of the game. That's what being competitive is all about. Me personally, I know we're in a generation where everyone, is kind of best friends with each other and stuff like that. I know some fans don't like that, especially on the basketball side of things.
Yes.
We kind of have that. Everyone's kind of buddy. Me personally, that's cool, but you want to see guys compete.
I want you to hate those guys.
Yeah, I feel like there definitely, should be some type of I wouldn't necessarily say hate, but I would say there should definitely be some maybe strong dislike going on there where.
No actual malice towards the person.
Definitely some competitive I really don't like you type of feeling. When you're playing and when you're going up against people, I feel like that just brings the best out of each group. And I think that's what fans love to see is guys that compete their butts off and can have maybe just a little bit of, chirpiness, or whether you're pushing and shoving, like, you don't want to see fighting, like basketball back in the day.
Not the 70s basketball.
You don't want to see that necessarily, but I loved, growing up, and I was watching, the Cavs, and I was watching the Warriors, the Draymond, LeBron, like when LeBron blocked Steph Curry like 10 times in the finals, and he was cussing him out. I want to see that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I love that competitive nature about it, and as you can see, they're close, but they want to see that type of stuff. But I definitely feel like that should be part of sports in general.
It's so funny because when you said the Cavs, my old mind goes back to like World Be Free. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, that's right, LeBron.
Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah.
Well, because I'm thinking like Celtics Lakers.
Okay.
Where you would have a thing where like Magic Johnson and Bird like did not like you, like literally didn't like each other.
Yeah.
Literally hated Kevin McHale. I remember being at a Macy's in Riverside, California, and Dennis Johnson was there.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little kid, so I didn't say anything to Dennis Johnson.
Yeah.
But two older adults were walking through the mall. They both had like Lakers gear on.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, Dennis Johnson's over there. Go say something to him. Like,
Yeah.
I wanted them to fight him.
Right,
I don't know
right.
what it was. But like, you want that, like,
No, you do.
Ditka didn't like Forrest Gregg,
Yeah.
like, type of like angst and animosity.
Yeah.
Like, I don't say nice things about Jordan Love.
Yeah.
By the way, again, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I love that they lost, and I loved how they lost. I'm like, I was thinking of Kwani B too. Actually, I sent him a message on Instagram. I'm like,
Yeah.
you were right. See, you were right to say that about him.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, obviously, they did what they did to the Dallas Cowboys week 1, and I'll be honest with you, it shocked
Which is
me.
fine.
I was like, okay, cool. And then the 49ers came along, and I'm like, all right, this will be an interesting, matchup, see how this kind of shakes out. And I didn't get this, I don't know. I think I kind of caught that game late. I don't know if it was that one or if I'm talking about the Detroit one. But Brock Purdy looked good in that game, I will say, especially what he did in the back end half, end of the season. But it sucks for them. That's tough. But, next year I feel like it'll be a little different, with Chicago. You see what the division's going to look like. You got Minnesota, which, we're not sure what's going to happen over there. They're going to keep Justin. What are they going to do with Kirk Cousins? Then you look at what Detroit did. See how far they went.
They seem legit.
They do seem legit.
They've done a nice job of building that team.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. seem legit.
We should have swept them, but they've done a nice job of building that team.
No, they have.
Like
Dan
you
Campbell
feel
did a
like
great
you
job.
feel that way. Like obviously the first game ending the way that it did or happening the way it did, fair enough. But beating them the second hand decisively,
Yeah.
you feel like when you saw them having playoff success, like, yeah, we had these guys.
No, for sure. No, I mean, watching that game, it's like, man, they made it that far. It was like, man, like, we were obviously better than them. And we felt that way from when we played them the first time, going into the second time, But at the end of the day, the one thing about the NFL, it's all about matchups.
Yeah.
You can be great against one team and, and then, the team that they, beat, maybe a team that you just, for some reason, can't get over the hump with. So that's the crazy thing. And, I feel like the beauty of the NFL is that, each team can, be good and, anything can happen on any given Sunday. And, but when you look back at the season and you look at, the Detroit Lions and we went up against them, you definitely felt like we were the best team.
Yeah, the matchup against the Lions is good. The Packers one hasn't been great for us over the last couple of, but that's changing.
Yeah.
Like once we have another draft cycle, how involved are you in the draft? Now, obviously, there's all sorts of speculation about what's going to be going on at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm.
How do you approach that, like in your own life? Like, you want to stay out of it, but do you still talk to Justin? And is it weird?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough situation. Definitely, for Justin, like, I feel like even just throughout the season, I kind of mentioned that on some of the other podcasts where it was like you're trying to be the leader of a team and of a city and of a franchise when you have people constantly coming at you, in different type of ways. And, at the end of the day, like, he's back there behind center for the Chicago Bears. And whoever's back there, that's the person that you should support.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. And me growing up, I was a, Cleveland Browns fan growing up. And, sometimes I didn't know who was going to be back there at quarterback, but I supported whoever was back there, as if, they were, the number one pick. It didn't matter to me. And so, just looking at that situation, that's a tough situation to be in with him, having to battle that. And I feel like he's handled it as a pro.
100%.
Like, honestly, like he's handled that so well. He kind of did his little goodbye, so to speak, or kind of.
I didn't care for that.
Like if it was, if this is my last time,
I know.
But that just kind of shows you mentally, like, kind of where he's at, and just having to be in that situation. So I mean, that's tough on him. And I always told him, like, listen, man, I'm gonna have you back regardless. Regardless of what happens. I'm gonna have you back. You're here next year. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna run it back. We're gonna continue to improve and get better. So for me, as far as the whole draft and the whole process, I don't really try to worry about that. It kind of makes me throw up now looking at the draft process itself, seeing these guys, training for the combine, pro day, and all that. I'm like, dog, I don't even want to look. I don't even want to look at that stuff.
I'm glad that's over with.
Oh my gosh,
you could be at the Super Bowl hanging out, enjoying yourself.
I get some off time because it's long. You go through your college season, you go through your combine prep, and then you go into a full NFL off season or full NFL season, and now you finally get a chance to decompress and just take a breath. And so, for me, I'm still, as far as just, keeping my body, in shape. I carry football, around, all the time around the house. I'm sleeping with it. I'm throwing it up in the air, playing catch myself. For my fiance, I'm like, here, catch the ball. Like, throw it back to me. We're just playing catch in the living room. But I'm just trying to continue to develop myself, as many ways as I can. And as far as what happens in the draft, that's just an organizational thing. And whoever joins the team, they've been joining a great room and a great team. And, whoever's behind quarterback, same deal. I'm going to hit them up and be like, hey, let's get together. Whether that be somebody different or whether that be Justin, we're going to get together in the offseason as well. So that's kind of how I handle it. Don't try to, pay attention too much of like, all right, who are they going to take? Like, what's going on here? That's draining. Like, I just had a whole season.
What's your friend? What's also your friend? Like when people sit there talking S about it, like one way or the other, like you don't know.
I don't. And I say people all the time, like, so what do you think they're going to do? I'm like, listen, I know just as much as you do. It's not like I'm in there. Like
I probably know more.
I'm like,
I'm kidding.
Yeah, you might honestly. Like seriously, I'm like, we don't get told all those different things. I mean, DJ Moore might know something.
DJ might know,
but
he doesn't know.
But I don't think honestly, I don't. He may have like. I'm pretty sure he had to say as far as like the wide receivers coach and Chris Beatty. They had a connection from what I hear from college, I think.
Yeah.
So he probably had a say in that for sure. He probably signed off on that, but yeah, I'm not sure how that goes. Upstairs to players and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm just part of the team, and when we come back next year, I'm whatever role I have.
Yeah. It's weird because like sometimes when you're in like my line of work, you'll have a coworker who's like on a performance review thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, you want to be very helpful and you want to like go to bat for those people. And I've done it, you've done it in the past where you're like, hey, it's a good worker. You should really keep this person and let them grow. So I feel like it's probably because like, it is weird. Like it's your profession, it's your job. And like the things that we go through with our day, like you guys still go through it.
Yeah.
With like changing,
like,
just texting, texting Equinemius St. Brown, being like, hey, coach call you? Like, what's going on? Like,
it's the same as far as like a regular, job in the workforce, just how things, handled, business wise, it's same type of feelings, same type of deal. We get up, it's literally the same type of deal. And I have to almost like kind of remind myself that, but like realize that where it's like, man, this is like, it's like another job, like in corporate America, going, from every day. So.
You could watch The Office and be like, "This is relatable."
Yeah, no, I can relate to people going to work every day. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Who's the Dwight of the Bears?
The Dwight of the Bears?
You watch that show?
Oh, Dwight.
It's Kwani B, isn't it? No, I'm joking.
Who's the Dwight of the Bears?
Don't answer that. I waited for your manager to leave so I could ask that question. You can text it to me later. Like you don't have to blow somebody up now. I don't want somebody to get upset. Like how dare you?
Right.
But you're not a rookie anymore. You can now start to.
Yeah, I have a little more.
It's like you can you've joined the fraternity and now you can wear the letters. Like hey, I went through initiation. We made this happen.
Right.
It's so funny. It's weird too. Like it's interesting being here because I don't want to come off as rude, but like. Your eyes wander because there's so many people here. There's so many people that give people kind of a glimpse of what's going on. We're in the middle of a huge conference, like a convention center.
Yeah.
There's tables everywhere. But there's also, and this is for somebody, and you liked watching sports growing up. So like Kenny Mayne's over there. Okay. Kenny Mayne waved at me earlier and I just stopped dead in my tracks. Like I was like starstruck.
Yeah.
Like, and you see it like Carrot Top was walking around.
No, I'm running into people and just like even now we're talking. I seen like I'm huge into like sports talk shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just seen Dan Orlovsky walk by.
No, where was he?
He literally just walked by like maybe about a minute ago.
Dang it.
And I'm just sitting here like, oh shoot, I watch him like every morning.
There's
when he's on
Orlovsky.
First Take, and so like, you're just seeing all these different guys. Damn, or who was over there?
We had the Golics were over there.
Yeah, no, I mean there's so many people walking around where I'm like, oh, I seen you on TV, or like, oh yeah, I know you, Nate Burleson, I seen him.
Nate Burleson, yeah.
I just got in contact with him. Who did I just see? Thomas Davis. Ran into him.
Oh, he's here?
Yeah, he's here. I just ran into him. We talked for a good while. He was with DJ when DJ first got in the league. He was in Carolina, but yeah. So I mean, there's definitely a lot of people and a lot of faces that I'm familiar with but never seen. And I'm like, oh shoot, like I'm part of this now. So it's cool.
That is amazing. Because like Thomas Davis and I did Total Access last year.
Oh really?
Yeah, and then when
Yeah.
DJ got traded, I was like, hey, give me the scoop.
Yeah.
He's like, oh no, that's a good player. that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
So it's cool, but like Carrot Top so far, I'm trying to get like I love Carrot Top. I think Carrot Top's funny. And so that's my thing. My friend who is staying at the Luxor, it's like, hey, what do you want to do? I go, hey, one night, see if we can get Carrot Top tickets. And he said no. I said, how dare you? How dare you besmirch? So how long are you in town for? Are you here promoting anything, or are you just trying to be a part of the
No, I'm not even
experience?
really promoting anything. I'm promoting Tyler Scott, really.
course.
Honestly, just kind of networking, meeting different people. Yeah, really, honestly, just enjoying, Vegas. I've never been here before. Never been
That's
in
right.
Vegas.
You were
So-
stunned by the mountains.
Yeah, I was stunned by the mountains, But yeah, just enjoying the atmosphere, enjoying being around a lot of different people, meeting a lot of different people, shaking hands. I got to spend time with some kids, like I mentioned earlier, which was actually a cool experience. And just seeing their faces, I think that's like for me, like through this whole process, being able to see kids and you walk up to them, you're like, oh my gosh, you're such and such, or can I have your autograph, or just all these different types of things. You see those things, and it really brings puts things in perspective. Because I remember what it was like for me when I was in their shoes, and I was out there running around at football camps and stuff like that, and I would see professional athletes and know exactly what they meant for me, and the impact they had on my life to get to this stage. And so, I never turned down a picture, autograph, whatever, for kids especially. And I just like I said, it means the world to me to see those type of things and be able to have that experience with kids.
Yeah, and I hope you never lose that, because it's so fun. Like, I've been doing this since the 90s.
Yeah.
And I still love coming to this thing. Like, even coming today, getting my credential,
Yep.
like walking through all this stuff, like I'm still excited and
Yeah.
walking into the meet. Like, it was a real big maze that you had to get through to get here. But like when you come up and you're in Radio Row, like it's an amazing experience. And then,
Yeah, you can
again,
tell.
whether
I can
you're
tell.
and it's funny because like the players, like if I see a player, it's cool, like, oh yeah, that guy. But when, like you said, when you see somebody that you see, like if Mina Kimes walked by, I'd be like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
I can't believe that's her.
Yeah.
The Golics were like that. It was like Chris Long's over there.
Yeah.
He was with
it'd
Marshawn.
probably it'd be like Shannon Sharp for me. Like, I love Shannon Sharp, So like if I see like Shannon Sharp or or like a Stephen A. Smith or something like that, like Nick Wright. Like, that's all I want to meet, honestly. That's probably
Nick Wright.
Nick Wright. That's another.
Do you
guy.
like him?
I love him. He loves LeBron. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh God.
yeah, he loves LeBron James. I'm sorry, I gotta say he loves LeBron James.
Yes. This is.
And so I love LeBron, and so he he has his back, and so me and Nick we connect on a level. So yeah, no, I've been watching that show, First Take, or first things first. Since I was in high school, I watched First Take, Undisputed. So just seeing like those type of guys, like for me, is like, oh man, like it's a cool experience.
And it's always weird when somebody like if you as a player will come up and be like, hey, I like your show.
Yeah.
Like, for me personally, like I'm like, oh, like when first time I met David Montgomery, he's always like, I've always wanted to meet you. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's like, you never dog us. You're really. I'm like, oh shoot, like you're
No,
watching.
definitely. Emmanuel Acho, that's another guy. He's on Speak. Yeah, no, I love sports talk shows.
LaShawn McCoy, not so much. He's not good.
Yeah,
he's not good to your boy.
He's interesting. He's an interesting character for the show. But it's cool. He gives the player's perspective, who was recently just in, and
Yeah.
but
Because we did an event. It was a Call of Duty event, and they were like choosing teams, and LaShawn McCoy would not pick me.
really,
And then AJ Green finally decided like, hey, I will pick you. And I'm like, okay. So I spent the whole time then like going
Didn't
after
like
LaShawn McCoy. Like, nah. Like and then now he's always going after Justin Fields, and it's like,
Yeah.
I can't. I mean, if it's rooted in reality, which sometimes I don't think that it is,
Yeah.
people have their things. But
Definitely.
listen, I want to thank you for coming by. I don't know how much time you have. I don't want to keep you too long. But so what else? What else do you want to see around here? Do you want to see Carrot Top?
I wouldn't mind.
Right? It would be fun.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah. I mean, I'm still like in a state of like, man, I'm here, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm still like soaking it all in. I'm like, I feel like I'm like a rookie in my first game. Like everything's moving fast, and I'm just like, okay, all right, cool. Seeing like different people, you know, I got my agent with me, Jeff, and he's walking me around, saying what's up to different people, and you know, so no, I'm still just like I said, taking everything in, trying to be present, enjoying the moment, and like I said, hopefully run into, you know, like I said, maybe one of these guys that, you know, I really look up to, outside of you.
Yeah,
But,
Way to throw that in.
outside of the great Adam Rank, you know, but yeah, no, like I said, I'm enjoying it so far, and you know, hopefully I see some. Honestly, I want to see like a NFL legend.
Yeah.
Like I did see Steve Young over there.
Oh yeah.
Steve Young, I seen over there. I'm trying to think if I seen anybody else. But yeah, like a true NFL like.
What about now? Devin Hester is up for the Hall of Fame. Steve
seen it.
McMichael
Yeah.
is up for the Hall of Fame. Two Bears legends.
Yeah.
Julius Peppers did play for the Bears. I don't really count that as much. He ended up going to Green Bay, so they're like, whatever.
I think when I think of you, I think of Carolina Panthers.
Yeah, he's a Panther.
Yeah.
But Devin Hester, growing up, obviously you love football growing up. Do you think that Devin Hester should be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I've said that before. Like I feel like, you know, ending our show, I'm like, I feel like Devin
Yeah.
Hester should be in the Hall of Fame.
We can't assume that every audience is the same.
Oh, sorry.
New audience, you never
okay,
know.
So
There's gonna
I've
be
said it
somebody
before. I've said it
never
before.
heard this.
I've
I
tried to
repeat
make
myself
a case.
a lot.
I've tried to make a case that, you know, Devin Hester should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he's the best kick returner of all time. You know, so and punt returner. I just think what he did for the game and the impact he had, you know, on kids is unmatched. And I mean, I don't see there's an argument for him not to be in the Hall of Fame. So,
Yeah.
you know, obviously everyone thinks of the memorable, you know, opening kickoff he took back, you know, versus the Colts. But yeah, I think definitely should be in the Hall of Fame.
I don't remember what happened after that play, and it's not important, but Devin Hester's return to the Super Bowl was one of the most exciting things of all time. I'll never forget. I think
I remember that.
I do have, because I had my dad's jacket on. My dad had passed away, so I had his jacket on, starter jacket from the 80s, and somebody flipped like a table full of beers into the air after that play. Or they got up to scream, and
Yeah.
like beers got flipped. It was all over the jacket, but you're like, okay. And then
I just watched the video. Like I just watched the kickoff return, the video the other day. I think they were just announcing like he was going to be inducted, and so they showed that play. And so I seen in the video all the camera, like it was just such a cool, like the video itself, like you seen obviously the whole stadium. And one thing I miss that I don't think they do in the Super Bowl anymore, or I don't think it's as prominent, but like you can see the flashes from like the opening kickoff when they kick the ball off. You can see the cameras flash and stuff like that. Like it makes it that much more like you know, in awe watching the Super Bowl. And you know, it just looked like a movie, honestly, just watching it, you know, back. Just seeing the move he made, you know, on the one guy, I don't know which number it was, but he got to the middle and he shaked the guy to the left and then went back right. And I was like,
he hesitates a little bit.
He kind of hesitates and he
baits
shakes
him.
left and baits him, goes left and then shakes back right. And I was like, the game speed for him, like as a football player, I appreciated it and was like, understanding like how slow the game was going from, and like at that moment it was probably going in slow motion because like he shakes the guy, he breaks in the open field, and then you can see him on video looking up at the jumbotron as he's going into the end zone. And it's like to have the real thought to be able to do that, and then you're looking at yourself like I'm thinking like, man, I wonder what his state of like being in that moment, watching him run into the end zone, seeing like, all right, you know, I'm about to score a touchdown in the Super Bowl in the opening kickoff, like what that felt like, you know, as far as, you know, his presence in that moment.
Yeah. It's just so incredible, like the way that the game just it looked like a video game,
No,
like
yeah.
a friend of yours playing Madden
Definitely.
or doing something like that. It's so, I don't know, it's so iconic.
Which is, I don't know even why they kicked it to him in the first place. Which is,
That was the whole debate. And then Tony Dungy gets all his hubris. Like, I'm not going to be afraid of one man. I'm like, he's the only guy who's going to beat you.
all right, well, you can at
And then
least
Peyton
respect
Manning throws a pick on the next play. And you're like, this game's over. Like, it's over. Peyton's going to throw this away.
it. Yeah.
And I'm like, I've never been more confident in a Bears game in my life
Yeah.
than that right there. It's
Yeah.
just like, then it just, it evolved the way it evolved. But
Yeah.
in any event, what are you doing? What do you do for the Super Bowl? You're going to go home. You're going to go back to Chicago, or
So as far as
what do you do?
where am I
Do you have
gonna
a,
be, like,
yeah,
watching
do
it?
you have a party? What do you do? Do you
So-
even watch the game?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely watching it. I'm a fan of the game. I've
Yeah.
said that multiple times. I'm a fan of the game. Even though I'm part of it, but I'm also a fan. So I'll be here in Vegas for it.
Or you will?
Yeah, I'm not going to the game, but I haven't even honestly figured out what I'm going to do yet. I'll probably go.
Are you
to
out here the
maybe
whole
a
week?
lounge. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll be here the whole week. I'm here the whole
Oh,
week.
we're going to go see Carrot Top for sure then.
Yeah. No, I'm here the whole week.
You like the
Uh,
Offspring? Do you? Dude, let's go to. They're playing a free concert.
No, honestly, I'm here all week. I'm free. And just hit me up. You're down on Instagram. So,
Yeah, I'll do it. Oh my God, this is exciting. So, who do you think? Do you have a prediction for the game?
I'm gonna go with Kansas City. I'm going with Kansas City. Man, I think I love greatness. And I
Yeah.
think what Patrick Mahomes is doing, is really good.
Yeah.
Honestly. For the NFL, just kind of had that kind of face figure with Tom Brady, and now I kind of have that second coming of a guy, and Patrick Mahomes, and I love greatness, and I love watching greatness, and so I think we're in a time where I like to appreciate it, while it's here, and I think like I said, Patrick Mahomes, what he's doing is really cool. But if I had to pick a team, I'd probably go with definitely the Kansas City Chiefs. Score, I'm probably going to say Kansas City. I'm going to go 24-27.
All right.
Kansas
Close
City.
contest.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a close contest for sure, like it was the last time they faced each other.
Yeah.
I'm going to definitely go 24-27 Kansas City. And I would say, Travis Kelce winning MVP, Bearcat, Cincinnati Bearcat, but they're going to definitely give it to Patrick Mahomes.
No, he's got two now. They've
but they're
filled their
they're
quota.
going to give it to him, though.
It doesn't matter what he does, he wins.
Damian Williams should have won the first one, I think.
Yes.
The first Super Bowl.
I couldn't think of his name. I was doing the show earlier
Yeah.
today.
I
I couldn't think
think-
of Damian Williams. Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's-
think he probably should have won that one, but they gave it to Patrick Mahomes, and I feel like it's just only. That's just kind of
it's
that's kind of how it works.
unimaginative of whatever, the quarterback
Yeah,
wins.
Travis Kelce could have the game that he had last week, or the week before.
He might, because there might be people voting for Travis Kelce because of Taylor Swift.
That could be. I did not think about that.
So there's
I
it.
did not think
And
about that.
are we good with Taylor Swift being at the games?
I don't. Yeah,
Why does it bother people?
I don't know. I really don't know. I think. I don't know. Maybe it's just this ultra masculinity of
Yeah,
this is football. We don't care about Taylor Swift or whatever.
yeah.
I feel like I think it's cool, that she's, she's obviously, she's not doing anything, but just being her, she's
Join a game.
just enjoying the game, supporting her man. And,
She's not the producer of the show.
No.
She's not making people
No.
put her on camera.
no, and they're like, yeah, so we have the, Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia. Yeah, that's great. But Taylor Swift just walked in the building and then they all hand over. So it's, it's funny just seeing how much they do cover her. But,
I will tell you, my
Yeah,
daughter's friends, they all found out I'm going to the Super Bowl. All they care about is that, are you going to be able to see Taylor Swift? They couldn't tell you who's playing in the game.
that's the reason why the NFL also loves it. It's probably skyrockets prices and jersey sales and, Vans viewership. I don't know. Maybe we might see a trend.
NFL, maybe.
I don't know.
NFL fans, it's like Star Wars fans are this way, wrestling fans are this way. They're so tribal.
Yeah.
They don't want anybody new.
Yeah.
If anybody ever says hey, I like this thing, no,
Yeah,
the hardcore,
yeah.
you haven't put in the work.
People love tradition and yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I feel like for the NFL, they're going to probably start doing more stuff like that, where they're having more. I mean, that's what the NBA kind of started doing with like having a lot of celebrities at the game and then having them.
Well, you grew up, well, you might not be old enough to remember, like the Lakers games. They'd always be like, hey, and they'd start like Denzel, Diane Cannon, the Chili Peppers. And then, of course, they would end with Jack Nicholson. And then the Knicks had Spike Lee.
Yep.
Like, it never ruined your thing. Can she come on? Will she come on with us? All right. Hey, I love you. You know this.
No, definitely.
But MJ's here.
Definitely.
MJ Acosta Ruiz. Not Michael Jordan.
That Michael's.
Because then, no, I wish it was Michael Jordan because I would want you to tell him to his face.
Oh, I would.
You think LeBron's better?
I would have like. I don't know.
Here
Honestly,
come the
I don't
comments
know.
now. I forgot he likes LeBron over Jordan.
No, I do. I'm sorry. But here's the thing. I'm from Akron, Ohio.
He's
LeBron
from
is from
Akron.
Akron, from the same side. So yeah, no, I have just a little bit of bias. So,
All right.
but no, it's good talking to you. Good talking
Hey,
to
man,
you.
good seeing you.
Oh yeah. Good
So
seeing you.
Carrot Top and the Offspring. I'll be in touch.
Hit me up. Yeah, hit me up.
You're never answering my messages, are you?
No, I am.
You're getting out of here and you're going to be
I
like,
have
there's
a
no
receipt.
way.
Every time you
There's
hit
no
me up,
way.
I answer.
I know you do, but there's no way you're going to see. Yeah, you know what? I bounced him. How are you?
Wow,
Oh my
wow,
God.
there we are.
So good to see you. Oh my God, I missed
It's been
you.
too long. I missed you too.
It's
What
been
the
way too long.
hell?
How's life been going for you?
It's been going. You know, I'm a dog mom now.
Yeah. Well, I've noticed.
You notice.
Anybody who follows you on Instagram
Has
knows this.
known. He's gone viral on TikTok, which
Yeah.
has been
Oh
unbelievable.
wow.
So if you're on my TikTok, it'll only be dog mom content moving forward. Like it's 3.8 million views.
Wow. How is that?
I don't even understand.
Yeah.
I'm like
You've-
posting videos with like Hall of Famers,
Yes.
NFL superstars, Pro Bowlers, and like, nah, that's all right. 15-second video of the dog, and they're like, "This is amazing." You know, you can't argue with the algorithm. It's just weird.
It's wonderful and frustrating at the same time. You started
Right.
this
Right.
journey
Yeah.
of like, I'm sure dance and
All
all
of
this
it.
stuff going through,
Yeah.
landing a job as a Miami Dolphins cheerleader, going through the rings of like broadcasting
it.
these small local stations, finally catching a big break with the NFL Network. You're the face of Total Access. Nobody cares.
Nobody
But
cares.
you have a dog all
Gone.
of a sudden.
Yeah. You know what? He should start pulling his own weight. You
Yeah,
know, so if
a little
Milkbone,
bit.
Purina, just call us.
Yeah.
Fine, we're here.
That's a thing. Like everything should now
100% it's a thing.
coming
Everything
to
is
the house.
monetized. Yeah.
That's the way they do it. It reminds me of I saw Independence Day, the movie in
I
the
love that
theaters.
movie.
I'm a big really.
Big. I like post-apocalyptic,
Yes.
like, end of days movies. I don't know what that says about me, but I'm like right in it. I'm
I'm shocked that we've never talked about.
I know,
this
this
movie,
is
'cause I
insane.
love Independence Day.
Love Independence.
We had Bill Pullman and Jeff Goldblum
Oh my
on
god.
a show like this at the Super Bowl a number of years ago. They let
would die.
me because like Damashek was hosting it,
Mhm.
and he let me host it because he's like nobody likes this movie more than this guy. Let him run this.
Enter MJ.
And then here
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
hey, like talking
Not
about
Goldblum. Ooh, I would think
he
that's sick.
is one of the most striking.
That is the appropriate word. Striking.
Like, wow. You're like, obviously he's a movie star.
Right.
So you figure like, oh, okay.
Right.
But you're like, when you're in his presence, you're like, this is
He's got gravitas.
a
cachet.
little bit. There's something
Yeah.
about him and he's so smooth and just the
Yeah.
way he talks.
The voice is like butter.
Unbelievable.
Even his cadence is different, but yes, we could go on all day.
But I
One of the
really,
best movies ever.
I enjoyed that film. I bummed out because they were promoting the second one.
Oh.
So one of the Helmsworths was there with him, and I'm like,
One of the
I
Helmsworths?
couldn't have cared less.
Right. You're
Like,
like,
my
hey,
nieces
dude.
were like,
Yeah.
"Hey, you were there with it." I'm like, I don't know
You're
who
like,
that
it's
person
Goldblum.
is,
Right.
but like Bill Pullman, Lone Star
Yep,
from Spaceballs,
yep.
was there. But watching Independence Day,
Mhm.
there's the scene where the dog jumps into the broom closet under the 105. Like LA's blowing up. The audience doesn't care. But the dog
The
said,
dog!
oh, thank
That's
God the dog made
only
it.
thing
Millions of people just
I'm like
died.
that in every movie.
But the dog made it.
The dog or like horses, when, like horses are in battle, like those kind of battle scenes. I'm like,
Yeah.
he didn't pick to be in this.
Yeah.
Why is he getting stabbed?
Of course.
What does that say about us as well?
No.
There's okay. Now that we know that we have this shared love of Independence Day, every time I walk outside of NFL Network and I see SoFi Stadium,
Yeah.
does it not
They-
look like the mothership
100%. I thought that's what they based it on.
in the scene when Will comes out of the,
And he looks over.
that's
Like, what's
what
everybody
that's
staring
the
at?
only thing I think about every time I go home.
100%.
Oh
And
my
I
God,
sit
I'm
there
so glad it's not just me.
every time I pull into work. I always go, okay, Mr. President, here we go.
Yeah.
And then you go through the whole
Yes,
thing.
yes,
Doesn't
yes,
anybody
yes.
have any missiles left?
Nope.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got
such a
hung up
bummer.
back there.
I will be watching that today.
I still
At some
cry
point. Every time.
when he tell
Every
my
time.
kids I love them very much. And now you'll understand this as a dog mom, but like now that you have when you have kids, you're like, holy Lord, like that. That's the I can't even talk about it.
No.
Like I get all choked up. Like what a great
It's
thing.
too much.
Like the whole
I have to watch it today.
so high school's got to be named after him at some point. Like as they rebuild the world.
At least.
Like he's celebrated, like he's a world celebrity, and except until somebody goes through and digs through his Twitter profile,
So
and there's
wait, did they do
actually
the second one?
they did pretend it didn't happen.
I haven't. Yeah.
Well, because they had set out to make a second one when they were making the first one, because
Well,
one of
I
the
want
actors,
follow-up,
one of the actors was like, "Well, that's just one of their first ships. Like that's an infantry.
Shoot. That's right.
Like there's a bigger one that comes up." So, but they didn't do a great job with the second one.
That's unfortunate. It's kind of like the Back to the Future trilogy.
Yeah, the third one was
Right. The Western was just not.
didn't feel it.
Did not.
Second
no.
one was good, but yeah, the third
It
one was a little
We
bit.
had jumped the shark.
A little
on the
bit,
third one, for
yeah.
sure.
That's why they didn't
I
do a
agree.
fourth one, I'm assuming. But listen, it's good
Probably
having
wanted to.
I know. But it's good having you here. What do you like? I love radio. I still love
same.
coming here. Do you still get a charge out of this? Because
I do.
I drink it in.
Here's the thing, like everyone's like, oh, you get to talk to the players. For me, I'm like, I got to see all my media friends. Like
Right?
it's a reunion for us. It's like a little party. You just pop over. Even here, I was like, hi. And they're like, hey, you want to come down with Frank? Like that's how it goes here. It's so fluid. Everyone's excited to be here. We're midweek, so we still haven't quite hit that wall. Super Bowl.
Right. I don't hit the wall for Super Bowl week. Saturday is always kind of like because there's
weird
nothing
day.
to do.
Right.
You're like,
Right.
yeah, what are we gonna do? At least there's golf here this weekend.
Yeah. Oh, there
which,
is. Yeah.
which
you're
I'm
right.
gonna go out and see.
Yeah.
But I still and I've been telling everybody, when I see Kenny Mayne waved at me. And I didn't know what to
Nobody
make of
caught it on.
No, because he was right there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Kenny Mayne just waved to me, and I didn't know how to compose myself. Because I'm like, is he just being polite? But then
Right.
I'm looking is he waving to other people?
Right.
Has
And then
he
you're
seen
looking
me
back
before?
was it me or was it somebody else?
Because you get a lot of people do you get a lot of people stopping you, and you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
and just want to chat and catch up and all that
Sure.
stuff.
Or there's folks that what happens to me, and it happens both ways. Like I'm like, oh my god, hi, and I'm like, oh, they don't know me. Like
Right.
we follow each other on internet, but they're like, have we met? But because you interact on social media, sometimes you forget you haven't met in person. And vice versa, where people are like, hey, and I'm like, oh shit, and then they're like, oh no, yeah,
It's my social media friend.
Right, exactly.
And now you see them in the
in
flesh.
person, IRL, as the kids say.
Yes. The
IRL.
kids don't say that anymore.
Wow. Well,
Just
that
kidding.
just shows I'm not hip.
You're hip. Don't worry about that.
The fact that we're saying hip,
I know
reinforces-
that is the most
reinforces
unhip
that,
thing
right.
that you could say.
Right.
Let's talk about your Dolphins.
Okay.
The season this year. How do you feel about the season? Like there was a lot of positives,
Yeah.
but unfortunately they didn't go as far as
Yeah.
you probably would have liked it. How did you feel about the season as a whole?
I thought that even like the early onset success from the season, it felt unreal because I have always been of the mindset they were still about a year or two out from being a true playoff postseason hard heavy hitting contender.
Yeah.
And then they got riddled with injuries towards the back end of the season, so that didn't help the scenario at all. But it was fun to see what is there, what they're building, and how quickly they got to that part where they're in the postseason where they were contending for the division championship. So it was cool to see that. But as a Dolphins fan, you always have tempered expectations.
Yeah.
You're cautiously optimistic. But like all the Miami group chats were like, well, yeah, it's sort of how it ended for us. And towards the end of the season, too, it was rough.
Yeah.
It was a rough go.
The
at
Baltimore
end.
game.
Oh, my God. That was brutal. But it was a fun season. Like, we can't complain. We haven't had football like that in a really long time in Miami. And the last 2 years have been really, really exciting. And I think it's only trending upward.
And you like Tua? You think he's the guy?
I do like Tua.
Yeah.
I really, really do. I mean, towards the end of the year, there were some ball protection issues.
Yes.
So we're going to have to minimize the interceptions, please, if you will. But I think even just given what he went through the season prior, and for him to come back and to have a year the way that he did and set the passing yards that he did and lead the team the way he did says a lot about who he is as a man and who he is as an athlete. And I think that that can't be overlooked. And he played well.
Yeah.
He really, really did. So I'm excited to see him continue to grow up. I'm looking forward to see what they do with his contract situation too.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting because he's going to be due a lot of money.
Yep.
You don't hear any like. It's interesting because you don't hear anybody asking to move on from him. Like
No.
with the Bears, and understandably the Bears have Justin Fields,
Yeah.
so they have the number 1 overall pick,
Right.
which is a different situation. But at the same time, like a lot of the negatives that you would have for Justin Fields, you would also have for Tua.
Correct. Exactly.
But nobody
Yeah,
talks
yeah.
about that. So I'm curious. What do you think the Bears should do? Because
I know.
if the Bears didn't have the number 1 pick and they were picking at number 9,
Right.
I'm not sure that anybody would be advocating for them to take a quarterback.
Absolutely not.
But it only feels like, well, since you have the number 1 pick, you might as well do it.
But it's like, okay, so the quarterback class this year, I think, arguably is stronger than what we saw last year, right? And just the guys that are coming up the ranks. But it's like, do you just want to pick it and then bulk it? Or are you really I am of the mindset, invest in your guy.
Yeah.
It's not that Justin Fields is untalented. We've seen what he's capable of with nothing around him. So why not use that overall? Now, is there someone outside of a quarterback who would be worthy of a number 1 spot? That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Justin is the problem. I really, really don't. So it'll be curious to see if they just use that as leverage. I know that fans are not yelling that right now. So,
Yeah.
but I don't think that he's the one that they should move on from. I mean, remember when they were saying that stuff about Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you make of that situation, the way that unfolded?
I know.
That was really abrupt. Like they
Very
were
abrupt.
so good, and then it
Not.
just disappeared.
And then not. Yeah. But I think even at the beginning of last year, at the beginning of this season, rather, they were winning games, but not as dominantly as we expected them to, how they
Yeah.
did last year. So I was like, that's interesting. Like there was a little bit of a drop
They
off
were
when you
escaping,
really,
yeah.
100%. So I guess we shouldn't have felt like it was so abrupt, but we were expecting so much more from the Eagles. And especially that offensive side. I mean, their defense has always been interesting. So like, that was weird. I think that Jalen was a little bit more banged up than we knew
Yeah.
that he was.
It was shocking to me. I know, like, a lot of my fantasy analysis was about staying away from Jalen Hurts because I'm like, they can't run him
Right.
the way that they did the previous year.
No.
And they're like, oh, no, we can.
Right.
He's still going to
Just
go out
watch
there.
us.
He's going to still go out and score
Just
like
watch
15
us.
touchdowns. And then I
Right.
look the fool and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah. But
It
I
was
just
what it
felt
was.
like there was a different thing. But now they
Yeah.
bring in Kellen Moore.
Mhm.
They bring in Vic Fangio. I think they'll be back.
I think it'll be
What
interesting.
happened to Vic down there in Miami?
I don't know. I was really excited about that. And
Yeah.
I don't think it was on him. Like so many of the guys got hurt. The moment Jalen Phillips went down, we were all like, no.
Yeah.
Why? And he was having such a monster year too. And then they just started, especially guys in the secondary, started dropping like flies. So it's interesting. I expected a lot more out of Jalen Ramsey too.
Yeah.
This year. I mean, he made some incredible plays. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, okay, I'm looking at the timer. Speaking of
Oh,
the
shoot.
Eagles, I have to go interview one of Jalen's teammates.
Awesome.
In a little bit.
Who's
Not
gonna
to-
win?
Not to produce your show.
No. But who's gonna win the Super Bowl? Who do you got?
I actually would love to see the Niners pull away
Yeah.
with it. I was in the losing locker room the last time those two teams faced off in Miami, so I vividly remember how it felt for them. And so many of those guys are still on the team. But God damn it, Patrick Mahomes, I don't know what deal he made with the devil to get his superpowers. but
Wild.
It's crazy. I mean, the Niners will need to have a perfect game, I think,
Yeah.
to pull it off, for sure.
It's one of those things where you can't start off slow
Absolutely
like
not.
they've done the last couple
Yeah.
games.
And you can't do what you did in 2020 and get ahead and then let them come back.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. Prankster,
Keep the foot on the gas. So good seeing you. I miss you.
reunion. I miss you too.
Be good.
I will.
Enjoy it. You'll be around all week, I'm
I'll be
assuming.
here. I'll come ambush you again.
Okay, yeah, please. No, I thank you. Thanks for coming by. The great MJ Acosta Ruiz coming by. This is what happens at the Super Bowl is that we just have celebrities come by. They'll pop in. So I know a couple of the CHGO guys were looking. I thought that was and by the way, every like newspaper reporter looks the same. Like it's a big thing. Like they all have like the same similar build or anything like that. And are you taking off? What are you doing? All right. You're going to take a picture with me? Oh, with all of us. All right. Listen, can we take a break? We're going to take a break for a moment. We'll come back. We're going to bring on Kelly Singh. She's going to join us. We pre-recorded one, but we're going to start over. We're going to start fresh. And I'm going to pretend like I haven't seen her all day, but we're going to take a quick break. Stick around. Thanks for everybody who's being here. There's still people milling around. We're still going to grab some celebrities. So we'll be back in a little bit. back, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking around. We're still here at Radio Row, having a great time. As I said, like I keep getting preoccupied, just watching. You don't want to be rude, and you're just what? Is this happening? Holy shit!
I love you, buddy.
Carrot Top.
Oh my God!
How are you?
I love you. I watch you.
Stop
every
it.
year.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Yes, I
This
do.
is a legitimate
No,
thing.
this is legit.
You
Like,
see me, and I comment on your Instagram like
Yes, you
all the
do.
time.
I know, and I
so
know
this
that.
isn't a bit. Like this,
No,
I
no.
legitimately am so excited right now. How are you doing?
I'm
man?
doing great, man. I'm doing
Yeah,
great.
hanging in
I
there?
just finished 18. Well, and then finished. Started. I just get 18 years here at the Luxor, so it's been fun. Yeah.
I was talking about that not too long ago as you announced that you've re-signed with them.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
doing
yeah.
your thing. When you think back of like Vegas, and I've mentioned this before, when you think back like the Rat Pack,
Right. Sure.
and then Elvis, Wayne Newton, who's still at the Flamingo, like,
Right.
do you picture yourself in that company?
No, they won't let me in that company. They won't
They
let
will.
me. They won't. No, but it's weird because people always ask me, do we have that camaraderie? Do we have that, like, do we hang out like they did?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think I get sushi with David Caulfield after the show much,
Right.
but we should.
But like as like a Vegas icon, like
Yeah.
you're part of this town. I've been coming here for so long, and you always see your name on the marquee or it's on
Right.
the side of the.
Yeah.
You got bumped for a Dorito.
I
but-
did get bumped for burritos. I did.
But like you were synonymous
I
with
should have
Las
brought that
Vegas.
up. I did get bumped from burritos, yes.
Now, that would seem rude.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, thank God I like Doritos. I mean, I'm more of a Cheeto guy because of my hair. You just take
Yeah.
Cheeto dust and just put it right in.
How do you feel about Vegas now being, obviously the entertainment capital of the world, but now with sports, how great is it not
It's
only to
un-
have the Raiders here, but the Super Bowl?
It's unbelievable. I mean, even when the Golden Knights came here, that was the first big thing where people were like, the hockey, Vegas is not going to support hockey. And then they won. They were lucky they got very successful real quick. And they're basically, you can't get a ticket for 10 years to get into. Then there was talk of the Raiders. They're like, no, they're not going to bring football. And then I'm, across the Luxor, I see them building a stadium. Like, well, I think they're coming.
I think it's
They're building a stadium. So unless you're building a new showroom for me, and then they said we're going to host the Super Bowl. And I remember thinking, how great is that? What a town to host a Super Bowl. I mean, even on a Wednesday afternoon with nothing, it's crazy. And then you have the
Yeah.
Super Bowl. So it's been really fun.
How's it been going around Radio Row?
Oh, it's so I didn't get to know. I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
Stop it.
No, I mean this.
You're
I'm a
too
fan.
kind.
No, but I
no.
mean that. I'm a big fan of sports, and I watch.
I
it
know.
all the time.
Well, I remember back in the 90s, you used to do the NFL Celebrity Shoot-Off,
I
the
did.
golf thing
I
in
did.
La Costa, California.
I did.
And I remember talking to you back then, and I was like,
a long time ago. I got to use Emmett Smith's. It was weird. He was on the tee off, and he had his. I said I watched you as a kid in Florida.
yeah.
And so that's why I got his attention. He's like, oh, okay, not the dog in Dallas. I said, no, when you were
Florida, yeah.
Emmett Smith, And he said, oh, wow, cool. And I said, I love your bag. His golf bag was the Dallas Cowboys golf bag, but I mean like stitched. It said Emmett on it. And I said, wow, you play? And I said, no. I played once. He goes, oh, take a club and hit it. And I said, no. So I took the club and I'm like so nervous and I hit it. It went right down the thing, like further than any ball he'd hit.
Oh, no
And
way.
he was like,
No more.
No, I said, no. I swear to God, I got lucky with you. I've never played golf, so he just looked at me like, okay, it's gonna. But no, I've always been a sports fanatic. I should tell you my favorite thing is sports and me as a brand. I was watching a Raiders game, and I hear Carrot Top, Z,
No way.
Z95, whatever, right? And so I'm like, what the hell? My friend's like, dude, I think they said Carrot Top. I said, no, rewind it. And we rewind it, and literally David Carr's like, Carrot Top. And I'm like losing my mind. I'm like, I can retire. I can stop.
done, yeah.
I'm done. I've done it. I mean, I'm a play. So I got to talk to John Gruden. I said, just real quick, he's a huge fan. He's really it helped. He said, man, we got to play after you. I said, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yes.
And he said, yeah, it's Carrot Top. And I said, well, how did that happen? He said, we needed a play that was it was inaudible.
Yeah.
And it had to be really, really crazy. It's a crazy, stupid play. And I'm like, well, that's, I guess okay. He said, no, but it worked 4 out of 5 times.
Yeah.
Better than a dentist, So I asked Coach Reed the other night that question.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to ask him a question. So I said, would you possibly maybe put a Carrot Top call in the playbook, in your play sheet?
What do you say?
And he said, I'll think about it. So it's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
got to be amazing to have that.
Yeah,
When you hear
that was one of the, like I said, the kind of the coolest thing, especially being a sports guy. And hearing that, I was like, yeah, pretty cool.
And growing up, were you a Dolphins fan? Who's your NFL
Dolphins,
team?
yeah.
That's what I thought.
Florida.
How'd you feel about the Dolphins this year?
Well,
They made some improvements.
They did. I mean, that's the thing. I was going to say they like every year. I feel like like the Detroit. This next year, I kind of feel like that with Miami. And unfortunately, I just missed Dan Marino. Apparently, he was here.
Oh
earlier,
no!
And I would have loved to say hi to him. Of course, being my hero in football. But it's always they did so good. And they were, and everyone kept saying early on, "Oh, dude, your Dolphins." I'm like, don't say that because it's 8 games. And they're like, yeah, but dude, they're 8-0 or something. I'm like, oh, I know, but that doesn't mean anything. And sure enough, that's towards the end of the year they got a lot of injuries and they kind of just unfortunately. But I had a feeling it wasn't going to be their year. But everybody didn't help. Everybody saying to me, "Oh, dude, Dolphins, it's it. This is going to be the year."
That's the kiss of death.
It's the kiss of death.
Once somebody says that, hey, you guys are looking pretty good.
And a lot of people are saying it. Yeah.
Oh, my
How about
God.
the Dolphins? I'm like, yeah.
And you like Tua? You think he's the guy?
Well, I mean, we all want him to be the guy. I hope he does. I mean, I make the joke in my show. I said he got hurt in the huddle. I mean, the guy's, it's not a good night. But I like him as a person. I think he's a sweet guy. And I think and I think he's he's good. He's good. They're protecting him better, give him more protection because he had a lot of injuries with his head and stuff. So we hope he does well.
Yeah, I like him.
I like him as a person too. So
I'm a lefty, so I'm always kind of drawn to those guys as well. So
that's
I always
crazy.
That's always it looks aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
You go out there and see him throw a football. You're like, okay, that's the way my mind works.
Yeah,
This looks like a normal throw. And you mentioned because I love when you were roasting the Cowboys on your Instagram and all that stuff.
Right.
And you post clips from your show, which you should go see this. You're playing this week, right?
I am, yes.
Okay,
yes.
so we're planning on going.
Oh, right on.
I told Tyler Scott, the Bears
right on.
rookie wide receiver who's just here, we saw you walk by. I go, let's go to his show.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
he said he wants to go.
No,
so
that'd be great. We'd
but,
love to have you.
But he
I'm doing the Cowboys helmet this week just because it's the football. They're loving it.
do you do a lot of sports jokes and how
Yeah.
does it land?
I do it. There's like a 10-minute in my set list. It's called sports. It's sports. It's from football to golf to soccer to the F1 race that was here to the guy that agreed to the $700 million contract. Otani. What I like about it is a big screen. It says agreed to, and I said the best part is he agreed to it. Thank God he agreed to the 700. Like there was at one point he was thinking I might not agree to this.
Let me know when he's got to go.
Yeah.
He's got to go.
No,
Not
I
me.
do. No, I got. Oh, I
Just pull him out when he's gone because I'll leave him here forever.
Yeah.
No. I'm enjoying this.
I like that, but I do have a whole section of sports in it, and it's fun because it's all kind of current. Like the Tawny ones, it's right out of the thing, and then I have one that people have said that people, it's weird, like parallel thinking. So I've been doing this 40 years. So when I'll come up with something and then someone says, oh, they did that on South Park. I'm like, well, I didn't know that, but they did. So one of the jokes that I'm very proud of, it was a picture of Andy Reid. And I told him the other day, I said, this is a coach. Look at this coach, right? Because he's just standing there with his play call sheet.
Yeah.
I said, look at that. I said, zoom in on his play call sheet, and it zooms in into Denny's menu. So I said, that's how you call it. The moon's over my hammy. Scramble. And it gets such a big laugh. And then some guy said, no, they did that on South Park. I'm like, oh, man, but did they do it after I did it?
Right.
Right.
Who knows?
South Park is always going to win.
It's on
Carrot Top
TV.
South Park. Yeah, it's South Park, They'll
That's
say
what-
I ripped it off.
Well, that's the toughest part is when you do observational humor like that, people can come up,
Right,
we
sure.
can all have the same idea.
That's it. I call parallel thinking. It's
parallel thinking. Yeah.
The baseball logos. I've done this for 20 years. Well, as long as the Washington team has been around.
Yeah. The Nationals.
The very first day, literally the first day they showed their logo, I put in my show, how the hell did they get Walgreens? And I do the whole thing, and it kills every night. I said, are they playing CVS? How do they get Walgreens? And every night it kills. Guys, I said, I'm not making this up. It's a real logo. It's it's a Walgreens logo.
It
How do
literally
they get
is.
away with that?
How do they not get sued by
How do they
Walgreens
not
or
get
not have a
right.
tie into that?
They at least got to play CVS, something.
How do you do it though? Because as you said, you've been doing this for 40 years, and I think people have a perception of you or whatever, know, but your material is current. You have news all the time. How often? How much are you writing?
It's daily.
Cause
daily. I've written things already about the Super Bowl, maybe the dumb. I said that the 40,000 people they're going to try to put in the stadium.
Oh, no way.
40,000 people, 70,000 people.
Yeah.
They're going to put in the stadium for the Super Bowl with only one usher. So it's something like that. It's funny. It's funny for a day, but it's current. It's new.
It's current. It's a new
and
joke.
It's on top of what's happening now. So yeah, I try to keep the show fresh and current and new.
Very cool. Well, I'm going to come see you.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you so much
I
for
appreciate
stopping
you,
by.
man,
I
for being
appreciate
a
you.
fan and following my Instagram.
Dude, this
Appreciate
is awesome.
it.
You're great.
Thank you.
So he goes.
Oh,
The great Carrot
right.
Top.
I look
Yeah.
better from a distance, don't I? Oh God.
There he goes. Thanks for stopping by.
My cough drops on your table.
Oh, you're good.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
No,
Really
sincerely.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I hope somebody got a photo of that. Okay. As long as somebody got a photo. Oh my God. We're going to get a photo. Sorry, everybody.
Oh, we got to get one.
This show is really my indulgence.
Thank you, but
This has been Super Bowl made. This was worth the whole thing of coming out here. As everybody knows, like on Fantasy Life, like when Kimmy Checks and Cynthia see this show, they're going to be going wild because I love Carrot Top and I think he's hilarious. That was so much fun. This is one of the things, like, this is why I never take this for granted of like being able to do this and come down and just sit around because you never know what's going to happen. Like Carrot Top's going to come up and listen, whether Carrot Top was lying or not, whether he watches this show and knows who I am or not, doesn't matter to me. The words came out of his mouth that he said he was a huge fan, so I'll take it. Kelly, come join us. Are you getting bumped again? Okay, who do we get? Oh, wait, we're all right. Well, we used to do this thing. We used to do this show on Radio Row back in the day, and we would always have guests coming through, and you would get bumped by, the celebrities. Who's coming over? Oh my God. Spice Adams. Yes. Am I dying? Like I'm afraid. How are you?
What's up, man?
All right, I knocked over the microphone. Listen, it's not
That's
great.
how you know this live.
It's not so graceful. Now I'm fearing that I'm gonna die.
Why is it?
Because,
Why is it
'cause,
sick podcast? Are you sick?
Carrot Top, because it's sick, man. Like,
It's sick?
dude, that's sick.
Oh, okay.
You know,
That
Southern
lingo.
California,
Okay.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But for
So I
everybody,
gotta talk loud into that mic because
If you don't mind.
it's way over there.
way over there.
Okay.
I have a booming voice.
Is that how you do on this
And this
podcast?
is-
Is this live right now?
This is live.
Oh,
The comments
snap.
will start coming through.
Sick. Spice.
you.
Who said that? Bruja?
This is my 95.
Hold on, Chuck calling me. Hello? Let me call you right back, man. I'm doing a sick podcast.
Yeah, don't let them know.
How you doing, man?
Good.
You look good, man. You been working out?
No.
Trying to do
that's not
MMA?
what I- No, none of that.
No.
I have finally reached a point in my life where I'm packing for the Super Bowl, and I'm like, I'm not bringing my gym clothes because I know I'm not going to the gym.
Dang.
Like, you just know at
Why
some
would you
point.
do that? Like, you
Dude.
got to get something, man.
No. I walk in the strip. I've already got like 15,000 steps today. Like, we're fine. I'm wearing
Okay.
Vans, which might not have been the best choice. But for everybody who is unaware, if you don't know who this is, first of all, the meme you know, but I also know you as My 95. My dad, Richard Dent guy, but
Yep.
Spice Adams is my guy. Like, that is,
I never wanted to wear 95.
you're my generation. Yeah, how did that happen? Did they give that to you?
Dude, they had 73 up in my locker, and I was just like, all right, whatever. Like, I don't care about numbers. And then they said, no, we can't let you go out like that. And then they gave me 95, and I was like, Richard Dent's
Come
number?
on.
I'm like, this not retired? Oh, my gosh. So they gave it to me, and I was just like, when I saw him at the game, I said,
I'm so sorry.
this what they gave me. You know what I'm saying? He said, nah, you good. You good. He talked real cool. He said, nah, man, you good, baby. You representing. So when he gave me the vote of confidence, I was good. But I didn't want 95.
No, I can imagine. That's a little too daunting. Like,
Yeah, man, this
what
is
do
a Hall of Famer.
You don't have 99. Like, what do you think?
Right.
I'll wear
I need-
34.
But
Okay,
they got so many retired numbers.
know, it's
Like,
tough.
Yeah, it's like if you're a linebacker, you got to wear like 91.
yeah,
Yeah.
gotta wear 12 or something like that. But it's good to see you. Good to be around.
Yeah,
How
good
is-
to be seen.
How is it like? You obviously were very popular when you were playing, but you've blown up in your post-playing days. How did that happen?
Social media, man. It's
Yeah.
just the power of social media where like you can just reach the masses just off a post. And different people they take it and they put their own spin on it. Like it's been a lot of times I've posted something on Twitter and it doesn't get like, a million
Oh my God,
retweets.
yeah.
But somebody else does it and they put it in a different context and it's just like it's blowing
I
up.
hate
Like
that.
it's crazy. It's like, man, I'm the one who posted it. You know what I mean? So But everybody posts me behind the tree,
Yeah.
or me pulling up in that orange car with the foot coming out the window and things like that. So it's all been fun, man. Social media is very fun, but I didn't want anything to do with social media when I was playing ball.
Yeah, you're just
Just,
focusing on the game.
Yeah, man, that was it, man. But
But did you make a
gravitated towards
decision?
it.
But you made a
We had
decision when
fun.
you retired, like this is what you wanted to do.
Actually, I had no plan, man. And that's the name of my production company, No Plan Productions, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I went to business school, got my executive MBA from George Washington, figuring I was going to go into some type of business. But
Yeah.
now I'm just going into business for myself, doing something that I love and something I'm passionate about. Like, I think with football, like I was passionate about it.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Of course. You know, you put in all the work of lifting weights and running and, you know, studying the plays, studying your opponents and stuff like that. And I feel that same way with entertainment. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I want to make people laugh. I want people around me to have a good time. You know what I mean? Why else would I dress up like this?
Yeah. No, you look great.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
But you own it. Like it's a
cool.
thing. It stands out. Like how many Super
I'm
Bowls have you been to? Like is this now a
Oh,
yearly
man.
tradition for you?
Yeah, it is. No, I've probably been to maybe six or seven.
And you just walk around being famous, hoping people just pull you onto their podcast. Like, oh my God. Because like we see you, like you sit, it's so like it's gotta be a little off-putting because whenever you're talking to somebody, you always have an eye out, like to see like, oh wait, like who else can we
No,
grab? Like,
I give you the full attention.
not me. I mean,
You know what I'm
other
saying?
people.
If I'm talking to somebody, I don't look like, oh man, there's so and so there. Nah, man, I'm here with you.
I know.
You know, we're doing a sick podcast.
Well, now that
that's
you're
all
here.
that's on my mind right now.
This has been a tremendous back-to-back with you and Carrot Top. Have you seen
Carrot Top was in here.
Yeah. Have you seen his show?
Is he still like diesel
He's-
like that?
yeah,
He's jacked up.
He's young.
He's sick.
He is sick.
Okay.
He's got some sick muscles.
Yeah, I ain't got
I'm like,
no muscles,
I'm like the
man.
before picture.
I got like man boobs and stuff like that, man. I need to get this off, man. But I lost over like 100 pounds. Just
Yeah,
like
you're looking-
boxing and trying
you're
to
looking
eat
great.
right and stuff like that. So yeah, you can't keep this weight on, man. When you're done
Right.
playing, it's a lot, man. It's a lot on your joints. It's hard to get up in the morning, man. But you know, I cracked the code, man. Cracked the code.
What do you think about?
See, I just did it. What's up?
See?
I told you I was
Yeah.
giving you the.
You're like, hey, you're
But I didn't
I'm
wanna be
giving
rude.
you my undefined. Oh, hey, how are you?
I didn't want to
Like,
be rude.
This is how quickly.
I didn't want to be rude.
Not even 30 seconds.
I
after-
didn't want to be rude.
I
You
understand.
know, it's all about working
It's
smarter,
tough.
not harder.
No. It's this
See,
is what
and he
happened.
coming over here, so
It's
now
okay.
you getting the best of both worlds.
Oh, you're okay. Yeah, we're good. Please come say hello.
What's going on, man? You all right? Come on, get on the sick podcast, man. This is how we
Say
roll.
hello. This is what we're doing.
He got the mic way over there, so I gotta like
Oh, I
holler.
know.
How y'all doing there? It's Dakota Watson. I just wanted to say hello. Big fan of Mr. Spice himself. It's so funny. I was just talking about we was in the barbershop. And my and my barber phone went off, and all I heard was "ha ha." I busted out laughing. He said, "You the only one who would have caught on to that." So yeah, shout out
I
to
like
Mr.
the
Spice.
hat too, man.
Thank you,
You
sir.
just
I'm trying to be
styling
like you.
right
Straight money.
You got $1 million on, man.
Yes,
You got $1 million. Good
Great.
seeing
Thank
you,
so
man.
much.
So, no, thank you. I appreciate it.
Dakota, out here.
No, this was awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Appreciate you
No,
stopping
no,
by the
this is
Sick
awesome.
Podcast. Who we sponsored by?
We're sponsored by Underdog.
Underdog. What's up? Shout out to
Oh, wait.
Underdog. Who
and
else?
DraftKings.
DraftKings.
Game Room Chicago.
Game Room Chicago.
Have you ever been to Game Room
Everybody.
Chicago? It's amazing.
Game Room Chicago? No, they need to invite
This is
me though.
This is what
Where that's
happens,
at?
though.
Is it in the city?
Yeah.
proper?
It's,
Okay.
It's
Never
right
been.
across from Millennium Park in the historic Chicago Athletic Association Hotel.
Never been.
They've
Never
got a
invited me.
menu with Michelin-starred chef Mari Katsumura,
Really?
and he's got snack foods, beer towers, a weekend Bloody Mary bar, signature shareable
How
cocktails.
long they been doing this, man? Because ain't nobody told me
I've
nothing.
never I found out about it this year, and it's amazing. My friends who have gone swear by it now.
You need to give me a sick
Game Room
podcast.
Club.
Then.
You need to come on some more.
I got a podcast coming out on Valentine's Day.
You do.
It's not sick, but you know,
Hopefully
what
you don't
I mean?
get sick. Yes.
right
You want to avoid that.
off the
Take
grid.
precaution. Off the grid.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yep. How you doing, man? You good?
Good.
man?
I'm doing good. How do you feel about the
Finally,
Bears?
man.
How do you feel about our Bears? How are we doing?
Oh man, come on, man. Do we have to do this?
We don't have to. Let's
Oh,
talk about fun stuff. What's your
man.
favorite movie? we talked about the Bears plenty. I don't
No,
wanna be-
man. You know what? You
No,
know
no.
what I think? This is what I think. The grass is only greener where you water it.
Yeah.
Let's water the grass. All right.
Yes.
Let's go and get someone's. No. let's cultivate the talent that we have now.
Yes.
Water the grass, man. Keep Justin Fields. Surround him with so much talent.
There it is. That's
Like if you double DJ Moore, where you gonna go?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let's get like Marvin Harrison. Let's get every skill position guy, and then let's get the defense tight where we need to be. They just got the defensive coordinator, Coach Washington, who used to coach me when I was there in D-line. So he got an emphasis on defensive line. So the defensive line and the overall defense is going to be great. And then Flus is a defensive guy.
Yeah.
So let's get the offense tight.
Would love that.
Let's get a dynamic special teams guy. And now you got the 2007 Bears all over again, right? Dynamic defense. You got a good kick returner. And let's get a great offense.
Yeah. Speaking of that, do you think our guy gets in? Devin Hester, is he going to be in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, my God. He better.
He better.
Man, come on, man. Like that, man. You wouldn't kick to him.
No.
You wouldn't do a kick out. Like, you would rather kick the ball out of bounds and us get the ball on the 40 than to kick it to Devin Hester.
Yes.
Like, that's a game changer. Like, every game, come on, man. Then you don't want to punt to him. And if you do punt to him and it's a straight line, that's an automatic touchdown.
Yeah.
And because what happens is you got guys like Peanut Tillman who's on punt return, who's blocking his butt off. And this guy's a Pro Bowler. This guy's a potential Hall of Famer. And he's fighting to get on that special teams because it was important to us. So it was a lot of us on that special teams play, and we would go out and get a block because all you really need for Hess is that.
Yeah.
That's all the blocking you got to do. He's going to do the rest. Just stand in front of the guy, put your hands up if you have to. All you got to do is get in front of that guy for just a split second, and Hess is going to do the rest.
Yeah, and it's amazing that it's taken him this long. I thought he was going to be initial, like first ballot, boom, he's in.
Yeah,
we don't have to think about it too much.
I don't know why.
But unfortunately, I'm feeling good about this year. I think this could be the year. Steve McMichael.
So.
I don't know if you've crossed paths with Mongo, but
Mongo's a great guy, man. Praying for him, man. His ALS is it's just a horrible disease, man, and praying for his family, man. It's just it's bad to see, like people just start to lose function of their arms and stuff like that. He was just. Every time I talked to him, man, he was just super positive. He was, laughing at some of the things I did, and it amazed me how much he had paid attention to what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, Mongo know about the stupid video that I did or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, we every time like we had like an appearance or something like that, like he would always show love and just a great guy, man. So definitely proud of him, man, and he's definitely one of those guys that should go to the Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah, I'm confident, or I'm hopeful that he's going to be able to go and get that honor. Like when you look at his legacy and how good he was as a player, because I think people sometimes forget, like he was an excellent football player, because I also remember when he was in professional wrestling.
Yep.
And like, he was part of the Four Horsemen. One of my friends actually saw him at the MGM.
He's a legend, man.
And they were like, Mongo, and like gave him the Four Horsemen sign. And he marked out and did the whole thing. So hopefully Devin Hester, both those guys need to be in the Hall of Fame, but we'll find out Thursday night on NFL Honors. That is when we'll find out who's going to be going into the Hall of Fame. So what else you got going on this week? Where can everybody follow you? And what's going on with Spice?
Spice Adams everywhere, man, on all social media. I got merch at shop.spiceadams.com and podcast coming out on Valentine's Day called Off the Grid. And that's all I got going, man. SpiceAdams.com. I try to keep everything consistent.
I got you.
Yeah.
Who inspired? Like, is there somebody that inspired you comedically for everything that you do? Do you look up to somebody? You're like, this is like a
for sure,
who?
for sure. Eddie Murphy, Richard
Yes.
Pryor, Martin Lawrence, Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Red Fox. Like some of everybody, man. A lot of people I had to sneak off and go put the record on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When my mom wasn't looking, man. So a lot of Richard Pryor records and Red Fox records. So, man, I've just been inspired by a lot. But probably Martin Lawrence the most.
Love Martin Lawrence.
Because, the show Martin was it was such a classic. And he played all those characters and things like that. And so, like, a lot of characters that I do is, based off of the stuff that he already did. So
he was great in Blue Streak.
Oh, man.
Underrated movie.
Yeah, man. Blue Streak. you know, he started out in House Party.
Yeah, that's
Do the
right.
Right Thing when somebody stepped on the guy's sneakers. He's like, yo, he stepped on your sneakers. So yeah, man, Marlon, Def Comedy Jam. I mean, he's the man.
He is.
He's the man.
Sure.
Love
Actually,
Marlon.
Spice, you're the man. Thank
Nah,
you
I
so
tried,
much for
man.
doing this.
Yes, sir.
I know you got to go. You're very busy. Thank you so much.
My
It was
God,
so
man.
great seeing you.
You too, man. Finally, man. Finally got a chance to meet.
This has been a thrill for me. So thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
Keep doing your
No problem,
thing.
man.
We love you and keep it up, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man. Good times. So you just keep going live?
We're going
Man,
live.
You the man.
We're gonna sit here
So
and then
even when I leave,
poor-
you're still
poor-
going live.
poor Kelly will jump in for 2 minutes and then get bumped, and then we will go on with somebody else. That's how. Give him the laugh, give him the chuckle. Spice Adams joining us. What a turn of events. Like I was explaining to Anello over the last couple of weeks. I said, you know what? Like we just need to turn on the camera and go live. And it'll just be, you know what, one of those things like people will show up and we'll have people stop by and it'll be a good time. And so I love it. And it's been a great day so far. We did record an earlier interview, which we'll bring on a little bit from now. So we did have Kyle Yates with us, but we weren't live. I didn't realize, but we're live now. So this is cool. Looking around the room, it is starting to feel, I need to probably come a little bit earlier. But what's going on? We'll take a break. You know what? We're going to take a break for a moment. We're going to calibrate and be ready to go. And so stick with us. We'll be back in like 2 minutes. All right, welcome back to the show. So I don't know, Kelly was in the recorded part of the show. So she's brand new right now. You know her from the Sick Podcast, Phoenix. Kelly Singh is here with us, second year at the Super Bowl. What have been, I know we talked about this before, but what has it been like being, I love Radio Row. And I think for one of the reasons that you just saw, like, you don't know what's going to happen.
No.
Carrot Top will sit next to you. Spice Adams will come sit next to you. And now Kelly Singh. So it's a holy trinity.
It's such a lineage.
Yeah, that's the trio that you're in. You're like running in, like, who are your guests today? We had Carrot Top, like, oh yeah, Spice Adams, like, yeah, Kelly Singh, like, oh, she brought it home. How are you doing? First of all, how are you doing? You look great.
Great, thank you. I'm doing really well.
Okay,
Really well.
so everything's going.
Everything's great.
Are you golfing? Are you able to play?
I am
swing this-
golfing. I mean, for those of you who don't know, I'm a breast cancer survivor. And my golf swing has never been better. I took a bit off the front, and I'm okay sharing that. It really helps.
Don't make me laugh.
The swinger.
Don't make me laugh about this. I don't want to.
Early detection is important.
Yes.
Back
Yes.
to-
Back to the show.
Swing's never been better, Adam.
Swing's never been better. I know that we need to play. I know you've been working with Trophy Smack.
Yeah.
And that's still going on?
It is.
How is Trophy Smack?
It's doing great.
Yeah.
I mean, I started with them 2 years ago as their VP of marketing,
Yeah.
and now I have a team under me. We've grown year over year. Over year is my third season. It's been amazing. It's amazing. Amazing culture, amazing company.
And you get to spend time in Southern California.
I do. Yeah.
When was the last time you were out there? Because like I've been playing golf a ton, and haven't heard a peep out of you.
I've been so busy with the end of season because that's really busy for us.
Oh, it is.
Yes, it's like packed. I was there 2 weeks ago,
Huh.
and I'll be back next week after I'm here again next week for FSGA.
Oh yeah. So you're coming back to FSGA. Like, why would they do that? Why would they have it in the Super Bowl city the week after?
Vegas, baby. I
Come
don't know.
this week. Do it right
know,
now.
I
Like this
know.
seems like
This
the
seems
like
to
there's
happen.
there's so many guys and men and women here
Yeah.
from the fantasy industry. Like we're already here. Like let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's just do it. We'll do it on Monday and Tuesday when it's not as busy, and then we'll go.
They want to do it on Valentine's Day and make it romantic, you know?
There's so many jokes. Like there is a thing of like fantasy nerds don't have spouses, so why not? Like, yeah, do it. They got nothing to do on Valentine's Day. Let's have I don't know. Who is the guy? Wait, it's Andy Behrens, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's. What is his problem? What is he doing?
What are you doing, Andy Bear?
What are you doing, Andy Behrens? Like, why would you do that? Valentine's Day of all the things, and like Jason Klobaka, who's another Yahoo guy. 'Cause I was talking to him. I'm like, hey, I go, are you able to come out for the Super Bowl? He's like, no, I'm coming out for FSGA. I'm like, it seems way better.
I'm doing both. So what kind of life is he living? I don't know. What
Yeah.
kind of life am I living?
Well, I've got soccer practice starting soon. I just found out now. I didn't want to throw my weight around as the Section 143 or Area 140, Section 143, Huntington Beach girls 6, 8, and 10U Coach of the Year. I'm like, listen to me. This is why I know about coaching.
Yeah.
This is why I was talking to Andy Reid earlier today about some strategery. But like, I have to go back to training for my boys' 6U team. I'm like, me, Coach of the Year, a Section 143, 6, 8, and 10U girls.
You've already earned it.
I'm the coach.
Do
I
need
should
to
be
make you a
handling.
plaque
No.
so you can be like.
They gave me a trophy. Like it's if you look at my setup now, I've changed it around.
Okay, I'll have to
The Paul's Boutique album is gone. It's been replaced by a photo of the Red Lightning, which by the way drives me crazy. Every second, we're the Green Gang. Like no, just be whatever the thing is. Whether you're the watermelons or whatever the bubble gum, like you don't have to say the color, but I will say because a lot of our girls are coming back in the spring.
Uh-huh.
I don't care. I'm actually going to get us kits that aren't red, and we're still going to be the Red Lightning.
Okay.
We're gonna wear yellow, but we're gonna be red light because like, and it's actually my 5-year-old. He was watching an Arsenal match
Yeah.
when they were on the road, so they had the highlighter uniforms on. He's like, which one's Arsenal? Like, where are we? Like, he recognized the players. Like, why is he on that team? Like, no, that's the color we wear on the road. So it's kind of like an alternate kit in a way.
But I like it. You have to keep the Red Lightning tradition going.
Red Lightning. Well, I think from now on, like my teams are just going to be Lightning.
Lightning.
Like, yeah, it's Lightning. Like, it's you spend so much time trying to come up with the name of a team. Like, it was so exhausting. And our colors were red, and the girls were coming up with names that innocent out of their mouths. You're like, no, you do not want that. You do not know what you're saying. You have no idea what you're saying. The phrase that you just used is almost offensive to people. We would be banned in countries. But my boys' team, I think I'm just going to call them the Gooners.
Oh.
Little Gooners.
Little Gooners. They sound like they'll be really popular at school.
I think so. You don't?
No.
It sounds terrible.
Yes.
Nobody. I've not met one person.
Gooners.
I've not met one person that's felt that's a good idea.
They're-
Because the
okay.
Gunners, Arsenal Gunners, their
Gooners.
nickname's the Gooners.
If somebody told you that was a good idea, I'd be like, I'm your real friend.
Nobody has endorsed this at all. Not one person has been like, "Oh, that's cute." Nope.
It reminds me almost of like boogers.
Yeah,
Yeah, it sounds like stinky socks, and
I don't know.
I don't like
but
the
it's.
vibe.
But I also want to do Gunners, but it's Huntington Beach. So like some dads will be too into it. Like, yeah, we're the Gunners. Hell yeah. And we have a, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. They'll be
America.
They'll be wearing. Yeah, they'll be all. That'll be the thing. So Super Bowl. I got to be honest. I just love like being here and being. What is your favorite part of this week? Because I just love seeing people.
Yeah.
We had MJ Acosta Ruiz here too. Like just running into people like that, but also like seeing Kenny Mayne walk by and wave.
Exactly.
You're like, what the hell
No,
just happened?
that's my favorite part. Is just running into people that you recognize, and then, well, you're very recognizable.
'Cause
I'm
I'm
less
bald.
recognizable, but it's really fun because they're like, oh my gosh, I remember you interviewed me, blah blah blah. Or just it's so thoughtful. Most of the people here are really thoughtful, and
Yes.
that's something else that I think is really surprising and unexpected.
No, that's really cool. And like, and it's people feel like they know you
Yeah,
because you share a
because you're
big part of
online.
yourself. And obviously you've shared your story
Yeah.
about battling breast cancer. So
Yeah.
people feel invested.
Mhm.
So I think a lot of people are excited to see you. I know I was excited to see you
Thank you.
because you look great and
Thank
everything
you.
like that. So it's just great having you out here. I know we did a part. I don't know if we don't need to release the recorded one, but you said you're doing something ambitious where you want to get back you're not going to the game, but you want to get back for the Phoenix Open, the Waste Management tournament.
Yes.
is
I
it
can
gonna
never
happen?
call it that. I don't know why. I've lived there my life. All right, Waste Management Open. It's gonna happen. They've been rained out today, so it won't be the
But today's
last
Wednesday,
day.
so this would be a practice round.
That's true, but I feel like it might affect the ending. I just
Yeah.
feel like it's gonna linger.
Yeah.
Parking is a mess. I heard that's no good. But I've been going since I was small. I can't think of a year that I didn't go, and it's a really great memory I created with my dad. And he passed away in 2015. And so when I see you post with you and your daughter at ball games and things
Yeah.
like that, like those are core memories, and they stick with you forever. So I go and I think of my dad every time.
Yeah, and those are the kind of experiences you want to have. I have found out the golf course by my place, Meadowlark, they make great fries.
Oh,
So now my son will go to the little putting green.
right.
So we go to the putting green, maybe, 10 to 15 minutes out of him, maybe longer. But he wants to go get fries. So he asked to go golf because he now puts into his head golfing means fries. It was a tip that I was listening to the Sirius channel for golf, and somebody was talking about like, hey, whenever you go to the driving range or anything with your kids, take them to the clubhouse afterwards and get them a soft drink. And my daughter loves Sprite. So for her, it's like she likes fries too. She gets Sprite. And so it's
true.
you put that into my dad. I'm like, oh, my dad did that. We'd always go into the clubhouse afterwards. I had to have a Coke and just things like that. So those are the kind of memories you're trying to create. I really love the Phoenix Open too, and the event that it's become.
Yes.
Now I was out there for the Russell Wilson, Butler Super Bowl.
Yeah.
My friend went to the Open. Obviously that tournament was famous because Tiger moved the boulder. I think that was the year. I don't think they had the stands up.
It
It's
wasn't
16 yet,
The
but
stands with the bleachers, like for the common folk,
yeah.
were there, and they may have had a handful of sponsored corporate, but it's not like it is now.
Yeah, now it's a scene. Do you like going to 16 or do you want to go other places?
I used to like going to 16. We used to actually do caddy race bets, and we would cheer caddy race, caddy, and bet $1. Oh, that was so much fun. But now it's very commercial in the 16 area.
Yeah.
It's great. If you have an in, you get free booze, free food. But now I do like a greenskeeper pass, and you can go to like 3 different holes, and you still
cool.
get snacks and drinks, but you get to see other things.
Yeah.
So it gets a little repetitive, I think. But it's still fun. It's great fun.
Well, it's a cool, the back 9 of that course is really cool because it's got the hardest holes and it's got the easiest holes. 17 the one where you can drive the green in and have it go like Satif Thagala.
Yeah.
Did he drive the green and it rolled off?
Yes. That, and then 17 is the way it's situated. If something happens on 16, it like drowns out.
Oh, yeah.
It's really crazy in that aspect.
You got to be like, do they wait? Like, you can't be teeing off on 17 when people are teeing off on
I
16.
feel like they try and time it, but I don't think that you really can. Like,
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and plus people just start chanting for no reason at all,
yeah.
which is part of the fun, I think, too.
I kind of like that atmosphere. I think that for most of us now, when we play golf, you have a speaker in your cart, there's music. I don't necessarily like to drink while I'm playing, but people do that. And I'm like, that's kind of like that's the way people play golf, it seems like. Because the pros are out. Like when you see home videos of like JT and Spieth, like they're screwing around and they're doing that kind of stuff with the
Playing
music.
their music. Yeah, I love having music play when I'm playing golf. I think it's fun. And I do like having some drinks in the cart, especially in the summer. Maybe not as much in the winter because I'm cold.
Yeah, I got, a part of it too, like I don't want to be a total square, but like part of it too is like I usually golf early, but like I don't want to be drinking beers at 8. My friend Marty sometimes, like one time he was just having a rough go and he was just like, I got to go get a Budweiser or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's fair. But so I'm going to go out. I'm going to go try to go to the Live Golf on Saturday.
I saw that.
So I'm going to go.
Like $200, I think, for one of the.
They want me to go.
Sweet.
I was supposed to play in the Pro-Am today.
Oh, wow.
I would have blown this off, but I had a paid gig with NFL UK and like as a professional, I stuck with that. I'm like, I would love to do it. I'm like,
But they
oh,
guarantee your safety. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
that is not a pros. No, but I don't know. I'm gonna bring you back in a second. We're gonna bring in another guest.
Bring in somebody
Okay.
else.
So you are
Thank you so
well. This
much.
is the jump seat. So this is what I used to do. This show. We used to do this show for the NFL Digital, and every day of the 3 days, somebody would have to be the person that gets removed because we only had 3 mics or 4 mics or whatever. So there'd be one day where you're like, okay, I got to get pulled, and then somebody else comes
There
in.
can be
You're
too
the jump
much,
seat.
Kelly Singh.
Too much.
There could be.
There's never enough.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit. We're going to be bringing on one of the guys from StubHub. Where is it? The owner? Are you the owner of StubHub?
Sure. No.
How are you, Adam?
Adam Medelli.
Sit down. Introduce yourself to the audience.
Adam Medelli, StubHub spokesperson.
So you're here. We're talking about tickets. Obviously, this is a very Super Bowls are very much in demand. How is this Super Bowl compared to some of the other ones?
Yeah, it certainly had tremendous demand, especially from the beginning. I think 2 things come to mind. First and foremost, you have 2 major franchises. Obviously, the Chiefs, this is 4 out of 5 years. So
Yeah.
maybe we're seeing a little bit of the reason why the Niner fans are driving ticket sales because, hey, you've been there, done that. You're not going to spend the money.
Yeah.
But because of that, these are fans that have traveled across the country. The other big thing is, look, this is Las Vegas. This is the first time the Super Bowl's been here. The infrastructure is unlike any other city. Even if you compare it to an LA or Miami, there's no other Super Bowl that you're going to have maybe 500,000 people within a mile walk
Yes.
on game day. And that's something we're really monitoring as we head closer to the Sunday, where we really think prices actually may go up. Very limited availability, 65,000 seat stadium, as opposed to usually 72, 75,000. So a lot of factors are driving it, but it's certainly making quite the event.
Is there a strategy? Because sometimes you hear people like, "Oh, I'll wait till the last minute and get in on that." But is there for a Super Bowl, is there a strategy? Is it better just get it? If you want to go, just jump in. Is there any reason to wait?
Super Bowl, throw everything out the window. They typically the first 48 hours after an NFC, AFC championship game, that's going to be the highest demand and highest prices, as well as the days leading into the game. This is probably the best time to actually buy a Super Bowl ticket. Now, if you're listening and watching, a little bit hard to swallow if you're looking at some of the current prices to get in around $6,000.
Yeah.
But if you have the budget, this is probably, I wouldn't wait much longer to go ahead and move, depending on where you want to sit and what you want to experience.
Yeah, because one of my friends a couple of years ago, lifelong Rams fan, and he was sitting on the fence about it. And I'm like, I mean, it's easy for me to say because it's not my money. But like you said, if that's your budget, if you have saved up money to go to a Super Bowl, this is the time to do it.
Absolutely. This is certainly that window. We'll see the next 24 hours, but the sales volume has picked up. In the past 72 hours, we've sold 20% of our tickets. So clearly now the movement's starting, and we anticipate that to ramp up. We only have 3,000 tickets listed.
Oh, wow.
Currently on StubHub. So it's not like, hey, I'll wait it out. There's going to be 10,000 tickets. It's not going to be like that.
No, it seems scarce. And it seems like already you see everybody walking around town with their gear. The Chiefs, as you mentioned, 4 in 5 years. The 49ers have a great fan base. Is there a fan base out there that you're like, oh my God, if this team ever made it to the Super Bowl, the demand would be absolutely bananas?
It's always hard to predict, but one that industry insiders always talk about is if you had another Bills-Cowboys, like that type of matchup with the Cowboys' massive fan base, people are always talking about the Cowboys, but really they haven't been to the playoffs really in that long NFC Championship game, so they would drive it. And the Bills are such a great, well-traveled fan base that I think that's one matchup that you would circle prices throughout the roof.
I would see, and we're a Chicago. I do a Chicago podcast. I think the Bears would be one too. That would be absolutely nuts.
Bears another one. I mean, look, we saw it in Miami at the time. Chiefs, Niners, 2 fan bases that hadn't been there in years. Very high price. A lot of it also comes down to proximity to the teams. So LA having the Rams in it 2 years ago, that drives. When you take out the idea of, hey, I'm actually just Ubering to the game and I don't have to worry about flights and hotels, I'm willing to spend more money. We've seen that in a lot of other championships. So a lot of that can depend on where the game's being played and which teams, and that's why we're seeing Niner fans really buying.
That's why Las Vegas is really good
it's
too.
It's close. The Bay Area has all the infrastructure because they already have all the flights set up
Yeah.
because the Raider games down here. So the Niner fans, it makes sense why there's close to now 40% of our sales are from the state of California.
They also have a huge fan base in Southern California.
Yep.
And I flew in on Tuesday from Long Beach, not LAX, Long Beach. There were 6 flights that day from Long Beach, California to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So, and you can fly in the day of the game and be like, oh, you don't have to worry about a hotel room. You could fly in that morning and get your thing.
I live in the Bay Area. Candidly, I'm a 49er fan, season ticket holder. I'm flying back, and then I have a flight Sunday morning to come to the game, which is not normal for a Super Bowl, especially if it's cross country and whatnot. So I think, again, leads to why you're experiencing probably a little bit more red and gold than what you'll see on the Chiefs side from Sunday.
I'm sure of it. So if you're a Niners fan, are you a baseball guy too?
I am.
Can I ask you a baseball question? I'm going to throw you off a little bit. And this is bad for us. I'm an Angel fan. You're a Giant fan. Neither one of us are happy that Shohei Ohtani is with the Dodgers. What will a player like that mean? The Dodgers already draw $3 million a year. What will that mean, though, having him in? Do you guys expect like, oh, wow, this is a huge boost for us now that he's playing for the Dodgers?
Absolutely. I think the biggest thing, too, that we can compare it to is when he was on the Angels, what you saw in the games that he was pitching, a massive amount in spikes of views and purchases for those games. Now, this year, he's playing only DH. That probably will have a different effect than him actually pitching because people want to go see, the idea of, hey, he's pitching and hitting, which is just unheard of now with the DH across both. So that will be something to watch. But, yes, I mean, look, the amount of interest internationally that we saw people purchasing the Angels games will now just move, further up the freeway.
Yeah.
And so that's something that if you're the Dodgers, you're banking on. You're banking on the Japanese travelers that we see buying tickets throughout every single one of our games in LA, now over to Dodger Stadium.
It's funny you bring that up because my daughter is a she's 8, huge baseball fan. My son is too. My son's out coming along. Every time Ohtani pitched, we were on StubHub. And there was a family that listed theirs in the row behind the bullpen. And so we would go and sit behind the bullpen, go early enough to be able to watch them warm up.
Yeah.
So we would be from like that table to us, like watching Ohtani, like one of the best players in the world, warm up, get to see him pitch and do all that stuff. So I don't want good things to happen to the Dodgers, but I assume that is going to be good. But before I let you go, let me just get a quick prediction from you. Now, you did say you're a 49ers fan. How do you think this game is going to go?
Yeah, my prediction is definitely probably skewed.
Which is
I'm
fine.
sticking with 31-24. I think realistically where this might lend into the Niners' hands is the Chiefs are now slowing it down a little bit more. They're more running than they have in the past, which fits in the Niners' hands. I think the Niners can run and control the line of scrimmage. And if they do that, that's why I think my prediction will go that way.
Do you think that Brock Purdy doesn't get enough credit for what he's able to do?
I think so. Look, probably Niner fan. People like to point to the stars. I like to flip it around and say, look, if it was that easy, like the Niners probably would have won Super Bowls in other previous years. We didn't. I think there's a lot of skill to, hey, he makes a decision and just goes with it. And I think, a lot of times, whether the whole game manager conversation, however you want to look at it, fine, great. But realistically, like he's making the throws, getting the ball to where the players are, and he's controlling really the checkdowns, all that. This is a Kyle Shanahan offense where they're going up to the line of scrimmage with 2 or 3 plays at a time to be able to switch to.
Yeah.
So whether you call that a game management, it's actually he's playing the game at a pretty high level. Now, he may not run around and make some of the Mahomes type plays, but you saw in the NFC Championship game, like push comes to shove, he can make the plays, he can make the runs, and selfishly, I'm hoping he shows up and has a good Super Bowl.
This should be a good one. Do you have your tickets already?
Even at StubHub, I'm still working on it. I'm watching the market.
You're watching the market. So you just told us this is the time. If you have the budget, you should fire in right now.
I know. Trust me. If you look at my phone, there's like 4 different text threads of friends and family. Like, okay, are we doing it? What's the deal? But yeah, hey, I told you I had my flight booked. I've been committed for.
Okay,
a while.
you're in.
I'm in. I'll be there.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for stopping by.
Yeah, hey,
we
thank
appreciate the insight. And StubHub is a great place to get tickets. If you're on the fence, do it now. You heard what he said. Tickets are going fast. The 49er fans are gobbling them up. So we thank you for that insight.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thanks so
See you
much.
then. Yeah,
All right, thanks. Sorry, another awkward. No, sorry. Yeah. This one's weird. There he goes. Adam from StubHub. And again, you know what? Just go out there. And for anybody who's thinking about going, and again, like it's really easy, to just say, go to the Super Bowl. But you know what? If this is something that you've been planning for, something that you've been budgeting for, I do have, I'm in a little bit of a different position. So I get an opportunity to go to games like with credentials and things like that. But I do have an emergency fund that is set up exactly for the Bears going to the Super Bowl. And the interest that I've made on that thing over the last 14 years, or however long it's been for the Chicago Bears getting to the Super Bowl, I'll have plenty of money to go. We are, let's see if we could bring in, if Kelly, do you want to come back? Are we waiting for somebody else? Are we waiting for somebody else? Okay, come in. Let's do it. Come and sit down. Oh my God. Are you still mad at me?
Absolutely not.
Why? Like, we were simpatico, right?
We're good.
We were good.
Titans Nation, maybe not, but we're good. I mean, you picked us for what? 4 wins, 4-13?
Yes.
You were damn near close. I said you needed an apology. I think we need to give the apology because I said 9-7. I know, Sal and Vinny said 10-6. Man, you are right. That offensive line and Ryan Tannehill, it did not look good in the beginning of the season. That's why we switched to Will Levis. And I tried DMing you. I tried, posting it online that you were right. I was wrong. I gave it to you when we played the preseason. I gave it to you in the preseason when you guys beat us. I said, you're right. I'm wrong. Got to live with it now.
But how do you feel about the team moving forward? Obviously, they made a change at the coaching position. How do you feel about that move?
I mean, I like it. It's first-year coach Brian Callahan. I mean, he brought his dad over from the Cleveland Browns and Bill. I mean, I think it's going to be a huge mentor. I mean, he had Peyton Manning, he had Matthew Stafford, he had Derek Carr, and obviously Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
So in the young quarterback, how he developed them. Now we have Will Levis. He obviously came here for a reason that he wants to develop Will Levis. So it's encouraging that he came here. I just want an innovative offense.
Yeah.
Instead of the old Mike Vrabel and Jeff Fisher kind of offense where it's ground and pound, the defense and everything. I want to throw the ball down the field, as you do too. So I mean, that's how the NFL is now. I mean, Derrick Henry, impending free agent. I don't know if he's going to be back. I would love to have him back. But we have a great running back now, rookie Tajay Spears.
Yeah, I love Tajay Spears.
Yeah, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run. He's a 3-down back. Hopefully, we get him tomorrow on the podcast. But we're trying real hard over here in Vegas. But
so you're going tomorrow during the morning?
Here?
Yeah. Where are you guys posting from? Right here?
Yeah, we're
cool.
Yeah, we're going to be here. Hopefully he's on, but we do have a surprise guest on Friday. I don't want to spill anything.
Oh my
out
God,
just yet.
surprise guest on Friday?
We got stuff lined up, but I'll be on the red carpet tomorrow doing interviews as
well.
No
way.
Yeah, I'll be doing.
So you're going to honors?
Yeah, just
nice.
Just the red carpet. So I'll be.
But that's awesome. No, that's a great experience.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna stick some microphones in people's faces and get a reaction out of some people as they're going on the red carpet. I got a nice little suit. See what happens.
Is this your first time at a Super Bowl?
First time at a Super Bowl.
What have you thought of this? Now we've been talking about this. I've been talking about this all day. Like I still love this. Like I've been doing this since the 90s. I still love coming here. I still love coming to the events. As a first timer, what has it been like for you?
This has been ridiculous to say the least. I mean, if you just look, I mean, no one can see what we're seeing right now. But,
yeah.
I mean, you got the big guys on the outside, all the media on the inside like us. I mean, you got stars, football players walking around. You stick a microphone in these people. They're getting pulled in every direction. So whenever you can, you get you're appreciative of whatever you get from these people. But it's been absolutely insane. I mean, I've been here literally for 7 hours so far. Haven't really experienced much. So we'll see what happens tomorrow on Friday. But it's been absolutely insane.
Now it is something to behold, something to soak in, and just enjoy every part of it. And doing the red carpet will be amazing. It's gonna be bananas.
It's gonna be
like. Don't let those people push you around.
No.
Don't let anybody they'll try to worm into your spot or anything like that. Like no, we're not going to have that.
There's supposed to be like a science spot, so I'm going to get in there and.
No, the people from Access Hollywood will just try to elbow you right out.
TMZ stuff. It's all about
no. They will try. Yeah, they're gonna try. They're gonna try to jostle you and intimidate you. Like no, I have every bit of right of being here as you. Go out there and get your stuff and go get your questions. You did talk about Will Levis. Do you like him? What are we doing?
I'm going to get killed for this question, this answer. I do. I mean, I'm a guy that I liked Ryan Tannehill. I told you before.
Yeah, of course.
I voiced my opinion on the podcast. He threw the 4 touchdowns in the game. It's hit or miss. Our offensive line was terrible. Our wide receivers, besides DeAndre Hopkins, was absolutely dog water. So that's why I kind of want to see what he does this year with Brian Callahan. It's a different offense. It's hopefully a faster paced offense, as you see what the Bengals did with T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd and Jamar Chase, obviously. So it all depends on what we do with free agency. They're the second cap space in a league behind Washington, I believe, right? Washington.
Yeah, I think that's. Sounds correct.
So if we go after a T. Higgins, which probably he'll get tagged, it all depends. If we surround this guy with weapons, I'm all about it. But the verdict maybe not be out yet on him yet. I
Yeah.
need to see a second year, a full year with a protected line and some more weapons because we have nothing this year.
Yeah, sometimes you wonder with these coaches coming in, like Callahan's got to know, like he accepted this job. He knows who the quarterback is. Like if you do not want to coach this quarterback, then don't take the job. So I hope that's a good sign. And I still think like there were moments last season where you're like, all right, that's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Like I was coming into the
Miami game,
draft.
comeback.
Yeah, like there was some like I was very pessimistic, and Ella will know this. Like very pessimistic about like I don't know about this player, but there were times last season I'm like, all right, like
Yeah.
we see some stuff, and like, and like you said, you know, you want to be a modern NFL offense, and it's very tough, and it's going to be tough for a lot of the Titans fan base to let that like. Sometimes they just don't want that to happen. Like, no, we're a running team. Like we need to run all the time.
We hear it all the time. They want the innovation. They want points. They want throwing.
That's good.
We got a brand new sexy stadium coming in 2027.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're not going in there as losers. So whatever they're going to do, I trust Rand. Rand Carthon's got a lot of ties in the league. So whatever he has to do to build and surround him with talent, I think this is going to be a nice retooling year.
Are you shocked that Mike Vrabel didn't get picked up?
I was, because I was a Vrabel guy, and everybody in the comments or, you know, all over my Twitter page, I was the Vrabel guy on the podcast. I said that. Me and Vinny said that he was going to get a job in 5 minutes. But now, as you see, these coaches that got hired, it's a younger style. It's offensive driven now. Bill Belichick didn't get hired. Pete Carroll didn't get hired. Mike Vrabel didn't get hired. Those are all old school kind of guys, the New England kind of guys. You know Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel I'm talking about. But
Carroll was a Patriots coach. So.
But like I said, it's more innovation. I love how the Kyle Shanahan tree is going, and Mike McDaniels is there. Everything is new style and all analytic. Those guys are not analytic guys.
Yeah.
So I mean, sky's the limit for this offense. I hope so. I hope and pray that we're back on track.
Did you hear that story? Like Vrabel's size
I know.
is
I asked Jim
intimidating.
Wyatt that this morning. It's crazy. Like how that even like Diana Rossini, she's a respectable reporter. How a GM even really said that.
Yeah.
About a head coach. He's a man's man. I mean, you got to be a little tough on your players, but he has the respect, you know, from a lot of NFL players. Taylor Lewan said it. I mean, they were boys, but Wesley Woodyard, I don't know if you've seen the comment Wesley Woodyard made about that 2019. They were on 104.5 The Zone in Nashville with Ramon, Kayla, and Will Anderson, Kayla Anderson. And he said that 2019 championship run, Mike Vrabel kind of lost the locker room, and they didn't know if they wanted to win for him to boost his ego. Now, hearing that from a fan's perspective, we're like, damn, are they really not going to play for this guy to try to win a championship? But it turns out, those were talks among a couple of the core guys, but they played their ass off and they still lost to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
But just to see that, if he lost the locker room then and he was kind of hard on his players, kind of seems why he got out of Nashville. So,
no, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you, going into the Super Bowl, speaking of the Chiefs, do you find yourself rooting against
Yes,
them?
absolutely.
You can't stand
Yeah, I can't stand it because it's just like the Brady. I mean, you're not AFC guy, you're the NFC guy, but it's Brady all over again. And want new blood. I was rooting really hard for the Detroit Lions, probably everybody, America's team in the playoffs. But I don't want the Chiefs to win.
Not as much for me, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't want the Chiefs to win. I'm going for the Niners, but if I'm a betting man, I'm betting the Chiefs.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Hard to bet
shocking.
against
It's shocking to me. Like every time I talk to experts, like we do our things on NFL.com, and like most people are picking the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking to people around here, I did a show, like I said, with 888 Sport. Everybody took the Chiefs, and you're like, oh, but the 49ers are favored by 2. Like I don't get that. Like I don't know. Do you think the 49ers have a good I don't know. I still think they have a good chance. I feel like the more I talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, Chiefs for sure. Like, God, should I be? Because I love to fade the public. You know me. I'm a public fader. But like, I don't know. Like,
it's tough because it's still Mahomes at the end of the day versus Purdy. They have the weapons to compete with the Chiefs. But let's not forget, this is the best Chiefs defense Mahomes has had.
Yeah, that's the thing.
In his career. So that's the only reason why I'm trying to say the Chiefs will be victorious. Well, we'll see what happens. Maybe Brock Purdy's got some magic on Sunday.
You think about Tom Brady. You're talking about it. Look at the quarterbacks he lost to: Eli, twice,
I
and
gotta hear it all
Nick
the time.
Foles. What, you hear about Eli?
My-
Oh yeah, because you're in Jersey.
my wife is a huge Giant fan. Her whole family, all my friends are fans. That's all I hear about. One Giant loss. I'm like, get out of here with Eli Manning stuff.
Oh my God, that drove me crazy because I actually had season tickets for the Chargers during that era.
Oh wow.
And I remember because Sean Merriman was running around here.
Yeah, he was.
But I love LaDainian Tomlinson. Well, I got to know like LaDainian before we started working together at the NFL. And so I was a huge fan of his. So I'm like, oh, you're like Southern California. You're like, oh, I'll buy a 4-pack or whatever. So I was like kind of tied in. Somebody even today was like, didn't you like, I'm like, well, like if you go back, like I used to write a lot of pro Chargers stuff because I like that team. But I cannot stand Eli for that reason. Like, I don't know. Like it worked out for him. He won 2 Super Bowls, but you're like, I don't know. And that's why when the Caleb Williams thing comes out, you're like, oh, he doesn't want to play. I'm like, oh, don't do this again. Like, don't be this person.
I'm not into that whole. I don't want to play for this one. Crybaby stuff behind stage. That's why I'm glad you brought that up. Because now I want to switch roles to the draft. The Bears own the first pick of the draft. All my friends, every friend group, we talk about it on the podcast as well.
Yeah.
What are the Bears? Because they hold the keys to everything.
Yeah.
What are the Bears doing with that pick? Do you honestly believe they're going to trade Justin Fields? Are they going to draft Caleb Williams? Are they going to trade back with Atlanta? Atlanta comes up. Is Washington going to come up? And you guys fall to 2 for Marvin Harrison Jr. What do you think the Bears are actually going to do with that pick?
That is an amazing question because I don't believe that there's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
Like I understand the science of everything. When you talk to a lot of the fans are invested in Justin Fields. They love Justin Fields. So we're like, let's go. Like there's a small fraction of the fan base who's like, we don't like this guy sucks. We're like, that's not accurate. Yeah. But I think fans get invested in a player and you're like, we want to see him succeed. We want to surround him with talent. Spice Adams was on here earlier and he's like, look, like grow your garden. Like you have that player, like grow it. And even if you want to point to what the 49ers have done, like the 49ers and Chiefs show you both options, which are both pretty good. Either you have a Mahomes type player, like if Caleb Williams becomes Mahomes, like see what happens when you have Mahomes. You're always going to be in the mix for the Super Bowl. But the 49ers are doing it with Mr. Irrelevant.
Yep.
And they've surrounded him with a lot of great players.
On
so
that contract as well.
there's 2 examples of like, here are the 2 ways you could do it. When you talk to people in the league, who either work for teams or they don't work for teams. And I know a lot of people come out and they're like, oh, you just hide behind your sources or anything. Okay, I'll blow one of them up right now because he's on TV talking about this all the time. Daniel Jeremiah is a person that I talk to a lot. He said this on NFL Network. These are one of the people that I talk to a lot. And they are always, because they're team people, they're always enamored with the rookie contract. They love the rookie contract. Like they love it. And like some fans love draft picks or things like I can't believe we get like, even when we traded for Montez Sweat, people like, I can't believe we gave up a 2nd-round pick for this guy. It's like, are you insane?
I know.
Could you imagine being in next year's draft and like, we're taking Montez Sweat?
Yeah.
That's a great pick. And obviously, they signed him. That was a funny thing too, is everybody's like, well, it only works if they sign him. Like, I think they had that conversation.
Oh, yeah.
I think they've laid some ground. I think the agent knows when you're about to make that deal. Like we're signing a long-term deal. We're just not going to announce it immediately.
Especially if you're invested into that.
So I don't have an accurate feel of like what they are going to do. What I would do, I would choose the Justin Fields option. That's my gig.
So you're going to trade that pick, or you're going to surround him with
I would trade the pick down and make Washington come up, or somebody like try to stay in the range for Marvin Harrison Jr., which is tough because you got to stay in front of the Cardinals. Do it that way, and I'm in on that. Like I think that Marvin Harrison Jr. You still have the 9th pick. Yeah. You're picking up additional picks for moving down. Yeah. I love it. And then also like. You drafted Caleb Williams, we're like, okay, like I'm going to support this quarterback of the Chicago Bears. But if you're asking me what I would do, definitely keep Justin Fields. If you're asking me what they're going to do, I have no idea.
I mean, it's crazy because like you said, if they do pass on Caleb Williams and he becomes the next Mahomes, let's say, the Bears are going to get crushed for trading that pick. And also you got to look at
giving
it as a
up
positive.
2 Mahomes.
Yeah, you got to think of it as a positive too. If they do it, you're resetting the quarterback market and you can surround him with talent.
Yeah.
You already have DJ Moore. If you slide back to 2, you can still get more. I mean, if you're not sliding back, I'm sorry. you're going to draft, Malik Neighbors or anybody else to pair with Justin Fields if you went that route as well. So, I mean, it's kind of a win-win, but not. But a lot of teams are doing that in the league now. They're surrounding their young quarterbacks with talent before they have to pay them. They did it with Tua. They did it with Joe Burrow. They're doing it with C.J. Stroud. I mean, they have a top 5 cap space, the Houston Texans. So they're going to probably go crazy this offseason, to compete in the AFC South and the AFC too. So, I mean, that's the way of the NFL going. Anthony Richards with the Colts too as well. They're going to do the same thing because they're going to sign Pittman too. So
he wasn't there for most of the season.
Who? Richardson. Yeah, but going next year. I mean, that's what they got to look forward to. So, I mean, that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's an interesting question to have, and one that will probably be, I know last year it was March, because I have the videos of when DJ Moore was traded. It was a Friday because I was on Total Access, and we expect it, by sometime by March after they go through that, we'll figure it out, and we'll see what happens. But where's Anello? Are we good? Can we wrap? Oh, Clyde wants to come on. Yeah, come on. Shit, sorry. Oh, I forgot. I didn't know if we were going to have Clyde today or Clyde. Are you coming back tomorrow too?
I might leave tomorrow, man.
Okay, good. Well, let's get you in. So you're here to talk. What about? What do you want to talk about?
Well, first off, you only gave us 4 wins.
Yes. That was with a rookie quarterback. If you would have told me Gardner Minshew was going to be your quarterback, I would have said 9 wins.
Okay, so if that's your story, Adam, you can stick to it. That's fine. But we didn't make the playoffs. You did call that. So I'm gonna calm that down.
What's funny is I really was impressed with the coaching staff and how they were able to maximize the talent of that team. We talked about it going into the season, and a lot of times when you're looking at these teams, and it's what happened with the Titans, and they're like, how did you how did you see this team? Like, how did you not see this coming? Like, well, there's a lot of questions and a lot of boxes that they have to check. And sometimes you just got to take a calculated risk and be like, rookie coach, rookie quarterback. I didn't have a big record for the Texans either. Right. So it's one of those things where, obviously missed. They were much better than I thought. I thought Gardner played pretty well. I think what we saw out of Anthony Richardson leads me to believe he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. He just needs to be you got to learn how to slide. That's true. Which is fine. He's a young kid. It's okay. He wasn't even 21 when he was drafted, if I'm not mistaken.
He just turned 21.
Because I remember doing an interview with him, and I'm like, yeah, you should go out and have a drink out there or do whatever. And somebody's like, he's 20. I'm like, oh, jeez.
He's 22 in May, I believe.
Yeah. How did you feel about the year? Were you encouraged? Were you disappointed? How were you feeling at the end of the season?
So, honestly, coaching, I am super ecstatic with Shane Steichen. Right?
Yeah.
And it's weird because the Colts and the Eagles keep, trading, coaches back and forth. Not trading, but, swapping coaches. We just picked up their QB coach this morning, I think. Absolutely. So, but no, as far as the team, I feel like we overachieved. So I'm going to be humble here, Adam.
Okay.
We definitely overachieved. A lot of people, once you start getting a little energy, like, oh, this team can do, I'm like, slow down. It's Gardner Minshew. And then we have lots of holes in our secondary, things that we got to fix. I'm not a fan of that cover 3, just fall back and, let the defense, give up yards. So we got some things to work out. But, having Shane Steichen, and had we won that last game and went to the playoffs, I think he would have honestly been hot for Coach of the Year. But D'Amico beat us, so I'm leaning towards D'Amico Ryans as Coach of the Year. So.
I am too. I don't think that there's any. I don't know how you would go against that. Right. I mean, especially with having a rookie quarterback, a first-time coordinator, it was really impressive. Going into the offseason, Michael Pittman's going to be a free agent. Yep. Do you think they bring him back, or do you think he hits the open market?
Listening to Chris Ballard, I feel like he's a priority, and he mentioned something very loose. He said, hey, if the number is 23, that's the number. You can't really go off of what the market tells you, right? So ultimately, for me, I feel like he's shown his worth for the last 2.5 years. Is he number one? Is he not number one? But then this year, he played out his mind, right? So I believe that we have to go and bring that back. I don't think that we'll have an opportunity at the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s of the world.
Yeah.
Rome out of Washington, I don't think we have an opportunity at that. Maybe Neighbors. I don't know.
It's interesting because sometimes you see these wide receivers that you think they're going to go high in the draft, and then they don't. Remember the year that the Raiders took Henry Ruggs. He was the first receiver off the board. CeeDee Lamb fell. Justin Jefferson went 20th.
Yeah.
There's as much as we, and I don't know if it's because we're fantasy football driven.
Right.
There's a sense of maybe the teams don't value this as much as we as fans do. So there is a trend. Where are you guys picking?
15.
15. So you're in an interesting spot.
Right.
Outside of wide receiver, secondary's got to be the number one address.
So here's the thing. Secondary, you would think, but honestly, we just brought in a new D-line coach from Pittsburgh, and I think that, our GM loves the trenches. So I don't quote me on his name because I can't say it, but the kid out of UCLA.
Yeah.
All the A's, all the T's, all the U's. I mean, he had a great week at the Senior Bowl. Our staff was down there. Some of our staff coached. I feel like he's a hot number too. So it could be D-line again. You know what I mean? But I like taking Brock Bowers, but I heard that he wants to be a Titan. I don't know how real that is, but Chris Sims tweeted that it was a Titan.
Of course, Chris Sims is tweeting.
Yeah, he tweeted that he wanted to be a Titan. So we'll see how that goes. But I would love Brock Bowers in his offense. It would be insane. With Anthony Richardson come back healthy and just the rack that kid can do, I don't know. It'd be incredible, man. It'd be incredible. So I'm really optimistic, though, with Anthony Richardson being healthy. I feel like this team is next level. And the South is a very tough division now. Used to be laughable, but now I think it's going to be a tough division.
Yeah. What do you think of what did you think of Jacksonville's fall from grace? Did you enjoy that a little too much?
I enjoyed it a lot because their fan base, and this is no knock, but they're like so high and then they're so low. So last year, the year before, they win the division at 9-7, and you would have thought they went 17-0.
Yes.
And then they come in and they start off hot, and they're number one for a couple weeks, and all of a sudden they tank. Yeah. And it's just like, this is who they are. You know what I mean? Like, this is who they are. And so just watching those fans kind of go through it, and now they're bashing Lawrence and all that. I still think Lawrence is a good quarterback, but his record is what his record is, right? And when you compare him to like Gardner Minshew, like they're kind of the same. You know what I mean? They're pretty equal. So I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I mean? For the number one overall pick a couple years ago, but it is what it is, man.
It's always the thing too, because Justin Fields gets all the criticism, and I'm like, why do we think that Trevor Lawrence is so much better than him? Like one playoff run that had Justin, and the Bears were very close.
Very true.
Like it was. It seems weird to say, but they weren't far from the playoff chase themselves. So it's interesting going into the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Now, our man over there does not like the Chiefs. Are you anti-Chiefs as well?
No, I'm not anti-Chiefs. Not at all.
You have a weird history with them in the playoffs.
Very true. Like you go back to the 90s, it was us. We owned them. And then 2000 still kind of owned them. And then here recently, they kind of owned us. But everybody remembers that amazing playoff game. I think it's in 2012-13.
Yeah.
We came back and won. We were down.
The Alex Smith.
Yeah, it was like 45-44. It was the final score. But then I actually seen Andrew Luck's last game. Didn't know that was going to be that. I was in attendance. I was freezing. It was crazy cold. And I'm thinking, oh, man, our team's improved. We got a line now. Got a good running back. And then he retires. You know what I mean? So I kind of do have a little bit of that sour taste when it comes to Kansas City. But I think they're the dynasty right now. It's scary to say. I don't know if it'll be New England Patriot-esque. But
that was 20 years. Yeah.
He's only 28 years old, right? So, man, it could be 4 Super Bowls in 6 years. That's scary numbers, man.
It is. You know what I mean? Where do you put him? Is it too early to have that conversation of where Patrick Mahomes ranks all time?
I say no, but ultimately he doesn't have. The numbers now are so crazy. You look at Peyton Manning, you look at Tom Brady, all the yards. I think Tom Brady has almost 100,000 yards if you count playoffs. Yeah. Come on, what kind of numbers is that? It's insane. So of course his numbers aren't there yet, but if you look at just what he's able to do in the regular season and his playoff, record, why not put him in there? He's done more than some of our greats already. You know what I mean? So he wins his 3rd Super Bowl. Right now, he's tying Aikman, right? So why not, right? He ties Elway if he wins this one. No, actually, Elway only has 2, right?
Yeah,
he has 2. So, he topped Elway if he wins this one. So, man, I think that you can have that debate that he's probably up there. So I'm going to give him – he's probably top 10 because I don't want to filter all the quarterbacks.
No. Yeah, you want to –
it's a lot of them.
Patrick Mahomes or Peyton Manning in his prime?
Oh, don't do that to me. Oh, God, my Coast Nation's going to hurt me. I got to go Patrick Mahomes, and I'm going to tell you why. Peyton had this thing. When you get in Peyton's head early, you could take all the New England early playoff games. He never got out of that wave. So if he came out and threw a couple picks, you had him beat. Patrick Mahomes seems to rip the playbook up and come right back out. That's what I liked about Andrew Luck so much. There's so many games where Andrew Luck had 3 picks and we still won. Where Peyton Manning kind of that first one went bad, second one went bad, and then the team just kind of goes with him. So I'm gonna go Patrick Mahomes. Oh my God, my Coach
It's
Station's gonna
tough.
kill me.
It is tough. And you heard it here. Clyde says it's tough. It's a tough, but it's an interesting question because it's almost to the point. Because I would say Patrick Mahomes over everybody except for Tom Brady, but we're going to be very close to a point where you're like, yeah, I don't know. Is he over Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Like, you know, like there's a lot of. It's going to be very difficult to talk about and very.
And that team keeps changing, and he keeps having the same results.
Yeah.
You know, like at first it was we have no defense; they're only offense. Now they've lost their offensive superstars outside of Kelsey, and he's doing it with the young guys in
Yeah.
Kelsey. So it's like it doesn't matter. You know, he is that guy. He's a game changer, and it's hard to beat. I thought the Ravens would do much better, but I mean, from the time that Kelsey threw the helmets and kicked the balls,
Yeah.
like I was like, they might be beat right here.
Oh,
like
they're-
you didn't come help.
They're
your
not
kicker
playing
out?
around. Yeah, they're not playing. You know, like
That's
that was
it.
I was like, oh, Chiefs by 1,000,000.
Right.
'Cause I had picked the Chiefs in that game. And I'm like, did I make the right call? Then I saw Travis Kelsey do that. I'm like, oh, it's over.
And
Like,
nobody
yeah.
came to his defense. I was like, nobody came to Justin Tucker.
There should have been a brawl. Like,
Like, what
Justin
are you
Tucker's
doing?
your guy. He's not a normal kicker.
Through his helmet. I'm
He's
like,
an
oh, man,
actual like
Yeah.
dude. Like
Right.
that's your guy.
that's your
And
guy.
you're not doing it.
Nobody did nothing.
What do you got going on the rest of the week? What are you doing? You said you're getting out of here.
Yeah,
Like, what's going-
so I've been here for a while, man. I actually came in over the weekend. And so I didn't really know how this was going to play. I was blessed by Sammy and the team to come out here. So next time I know to stay at least through Friday.
Yes.
But I'm gonna check out sometime tomorrow. It depends. I might stay and take a later flight, but I don't know.
We'll come back, dude. Yeah, if you're still around, we'll come back. We'll chop it up
Okay.
some more.
Absolutely.
But I appreciate you coming in and giving me the business. I deserved it. I'm glad you finally got that off your chest. I was wrong.
It's been a wait, Adam.
I got it. Well, I got to go through. We're going to be doing some of the videos after the season's over, where it's like there was some. Where was I right? Where was I wrong?
Gotcha.
The Titans, I was correct.
Gotcha.
Washington, like
Yeah.
Philly was actually very close because
Right.
I had them falling off the table at the end of the season.
Did they ever? Was that 6?
Not that severe though. Yeah, that was a little abrupt.
That was tough.
That
Yeah,
was
definitely.
it was wild. But listen, thanks for coming on.
Thank you,
Glad
Adam.
good seeing you.
Absolutely, man.
And hopefully we see you tomorrow.
All
This
right.
is a lot of fun. So I think we're pretty close to wrapping up here. We do see some people rocking around, but of course at some point we will we'll get some other people. Oh, wait, let me finish up a little bit. I'm not putting on the hat. This is actually my hat size. Like this is actually what hats look like on me. Like this is just people are like, what do you mean a big hat? Like, no, this is finally I found a hat in my size. It's great. What is that trend? I don't get the trend. I don't know. There's things that we do. But in any event, it's starting to wrap down. So maybe we'll start a little bit earlier tomorrow. But want to thank everybody who hung out. I do know, like, too, there was like, I don't know if I could put up messages. I don't know. Did we see? Because there were a couple of guys. I think there was a couple of paid ones. If there was at least one, and it was when Tyler was on, so I couldn't screen it because I'm like, Tyler, don't read it. Okay. Oh, it's Kerry, of course. Kerry Franklin. Thank you so much. Tyler Scott is the man. Keep working hard and great things on the field will come. Yeah, I wouldn't say that to Tyler's face. So, no, I'm joking. That's very nice of you, Kerry. So thank you so much. If you're still there, still watching, it still seems like there's a lot of people on. So we do appreciate you hanging out with us. This has been a ton of fun. And I know, like, for a lot of us who are first timers over here, really getting to see what this is all about, like how much fun this is. I hope you're already making plans for New Orleans, right? Like what we need to do next year, and I might even do it today. If I had the time, I would go to we should go to like an IKEA and go get a little couch. Go to the Salvation Army or something like that. Go get a couch from the Salvation Army and throw it here. And we could just leave it. Then when the week, like buy a couch for $100 and then like, you know what? When the week's over, like see you later. Let Mandalay Bay throw it in the dumpster. Like Beacons will be clearing this stuff out. But maybe we could have gotten StubHub to pay. That's what I should have done. I should ask StubHub, hey, can you buy us a couch? And we'll let you come. We'll do that tomorrow. If somebody comes on, like we'll let you come on. If you're willing to buy us a couch, we will let you on the show tomorrow. I can't promise what we'll have to. I can't promise tomorrow will be better than today because Carrot Top and Spice Adams, that's going to be a tough one. And Kelly Singh, MJ Acosta Ruiz. We had Kyle Yates in a recorded thing that might be lost for eternity because, listen, we might post it, we might not. Like he was almost too handsome. Like it was off-putting. I keep stalling because I saw Bragg's like lurking by, and I didn't know if he wanted to come in or not. I know a couple of the other CHGO guys were here. Carm was here, and then I think Adam was also here. But in any event, I'm going to wrap up. Is that cool? So listen, thanks everybody for being here. Check back tomorrow. A lot of the same, a lot of inane talk, but a lot of football stuff too. So you never know. I know that the week gets better. Like it gets like more people are coming to town right now. It's really like today is just the start of the ramp up. People are coming into town. So we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So please join us. Until that time, thank you so much for being here with us. Sammy, go ahead and play us out.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast with Adam Rank on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.